On a beautiful day here in College Park, two teams from the same state will go at it here. One of these teams will leave with their first loss of the season, and the Terps are hoping it is not them. Welcome to Maryland football on WMUC Sports. I'm Daniel Stein, joined alongside by my partner Benji Kaufman for this matchup between Maryland and Towson. And Benji, an interstate matchup here as the coin toss is about to take place. But the story for the Terps this season has been Malik Washington, but he got his first test last week versus NIU.
Star freshman looking to have another clean performance today, leading the nation in yards and touchdowns among true freshman quarterbacks. This is a star. This is a guy that fans are excited to see and excited to hopefully revive the program a little bit and get out of here clean and safe before a conference match against Wisconsin next week.
Washington is just one kind of cog in this Maryland offense, which is kind of going through a bit of an injury period. Caleb Webb, we weren't sure if he was going to play today, but he's out there with his helmet on, so he's good to go. We'll keep you updated on Octavian Smith Jr. I haven't seen him yet. We'll see if he's there. But on the other side for the Terps, a couple injuries, mainly Jamari Glasker, one of their starting cornerbacks, is out. But this is a team in Towson that also comes into this game 2-0. Maryland has played Towson 3 times. The Terps lead the series 3-0. And of course, the last meeting in 2023, a blowout 38-6. But for Maryland, this is the last game in a non-conference slate, Benji, and you just want to make sure that you don't want to get complacent at this point in the season.
Don't want to get complacent, and you also don't want to run too many new plays. You don't want to give Wisconsin more film, more ideas to look at for Maryland when scouting. You just want to get out of here clean, safe, easy game, and they're looking to do that today. It's a gorgeous day out here in College Park.
About 78 degrees with the sun shining. We've had really good weather the last couple of weeks in College Park. A lot of events this weekend. Field hockey was hosting a big tournament. Volleyball came back for their first game, but this is the premier event. The attendance is still kind of filing in here as Rock and Roll Part 2 will get the fan base ready for what should be a great game between Maryland and Towson as both teams come out of the huddles and get ready to go. Towson will get the ball first, which means we will get our first look at Andrew Indorf. Philip Noyes will kick it away. Terps wearing their red script jerseys with the red shirts and the red helmets and the white pants. Towson in all white with the black helmets and the black pants. As we are just about ready to get it away here. Both these teams 2-0 on the season. Towson coming off of a thrilling win against Morgan State last week. And they will look to try to shock the world here against the Terps team that's had their number.
And 2 years ago, that matchup between Maryland and Towson, Maryland dominated 38-6, but in this world of college football, not a lot of guys from that roster back on this Maryland squad. A lot of freshmen, a lot of transfers, but we'll see how different that result may be here this afternoon.
So the whistle goes, Noyes will get ready to kick away. Towson coached by Pete Shinnick in his 3rd season, the guy who had immense success at the Division II level with West Florida. He won a national championship there and now is trying to revive this Towson program. But we're underway here. Ball will bounce right on the goal line as Towson thought it was going to be a touchback, and they do corral it, and the whistle is blown. We'll see where they spot him. This could be a touchback, as we'll wait to see where the spot is. But either way, not a great start for the Tigers there. It's a lot easier just to catch that ball and call for the fair catch, but instead they just let it bounce, and it didn't bounce into the end zone.
Looked like Londano for Towson was about to make the grab, but number 7 for Towson, Sam Reynolds, the other return man, was saying, no, leave it. Ball just stays at the 2, and this is a nightmare start for Towson as they are backed up in their goal line already, and no time has run off the clock already.
So we'll get our first look at the freshman quarterback, Andrew Indorf, for Towson. Freshman out of Miami, Florida, went to St. Thomas Aquinas High School, school that a couple of Maryland players have. Towson sets up in a shotgun set with one running back to the left. Here's play action. Indorf being chased. He has to throw it out of his own end zone. It is incomplete. Good coverage there from Dante Joyner for the Terps. And it'll be 2nd down. Indorf with pressure in his face. On the season, he has over 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, yet to throw an interception. But he finds himself in a tough spot here. Al Wooten, the transfer running back, in the backfield with him. Towson on 2nd down and 10 from their own 2 will go out of the shotgun. Indorf claps his hands, fake jet sweep, they hand it off. Wooten navigates through the left side and is pushed back. It's a short gain here as Daniel Wingate fired up, throwing a Tiger to the ground. It's going to be 3rd down and long.
It's no surprise Wingate already putting his footprints on this game already. Had 10 tackles 2 weeks ago against FAU, 14 a week ago. Already got 1 early here, and it's a hard 3rd down for the Tigers early.
3rd and 10 from the 2-yard line. Tigers just trying to get out of their own end zone after that early blunder on the kickoff. 2 receivers to the left of Indorf, 2 to the right side as well. Terps showing blitz. Man in motion. Indorf takes the snap, hands it off. But a short gain there as the Terps were ready for it. Daniel Wingate in the area. Cam Rice, one of the captains today, made the tackle. It's a short gain, not enough to pick up the 1st down, and Towson will punt here on 4th. So that's exactly the start you wanted here if you're the Terps. Now you're set up for really good field position, and now Towson just has to get this ball cleanly out of their own end zone.
Maryland's returner not even lined up inside Towson territory. This could be a dream start for the Terps offense.
Josiah McLaurin back deep here. Here's the punt away from Bryce LaFolla. It's a short one. McLaurin fields it inside the 40. He breaks the tackle, works his way to the right side, runs into a couple of Tigers, takes the contact, and is tackled at the 34-yard line. So this is great field position for Malik Washington and the rest of the Terps offense here. So now we'll get our first look at the fellow freshman quarterback here for the Terps. Washington, 6'5", 231, out of Glen Burnie, Maryland. Of course, the accolades in high school we've mentioned so many times. The all-time leader in passing yards in Maryland State history. He's on the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year watch list. But he turned over the ball for the first time last week against NIU. That was in the red zone. It was a fumble that he just couldn't control. Let's see how the offense responds here. 2 receivers to the left of Washington. Nolan Ray at the left hip. Play fake. Here's a pass caught. Jaleel Farouk makes the catch, crosses the 30 and the 25 and falls forward. Let's see where they spot him. He's close to the sticks. Jaleel Farouk, one of the captains in this game, alongside Cam Rice and Ethan Goff, the long snapper, picks up the 1st down. Ball will be spotted at the 23, an 11-yard gain. 3 receivers now to the right of Washington. Ray still in the backfield. Octavian Smith in the slot. Washington claps his hands, hands it off. Ray pounces through the offensive line, tackled around the 20-yard line. It'll be a short gain on the first attempt for Nolan Ray. That puts the Terps right at the red zone here on the 20. 2nd down and 7. Washington, 3 receivers to his right. As is Ray in the backfield. Washington claps his hands, hands it off, a halfback sweep. Ray gets back to the line, maybe gains a yard. They'll set up 3rd and medium here with 12.5 to go in this first quarter.
That's something Maryland's going to want to develop today. They're still looking for that consistent run game. Obviously, Malik Washington and those new pass catchers are flashing early, but it's Nolan Ray that wants to get going and make Maryland more of a versatile offense.
Big 3rd down here for Malik. 3rd and 6. He puts Ray in motion. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Farouk in the slot. Octavian Smith out wide to the left. Washington makes some adjustments at the line, still has time on the play clock. 3rd down and 6. Washington claps his hands. Towson brings pressure. Washington steps up, throws underneath. Incomplete. He wanted Nolan Ray in the flat. And the Terps will have to settle for a field goal here. Washington, I think, was looking in the area of Dorian Fleming, too, but wasn't able to find him, couldn't complete the pass, and the Terps are forced to attempt a field goal. It's going to be Sean O'Hare for his first attempt of the afternoon. This one should be about 37 yards here. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is right through the uprights. So the Terps strike first, capitalizing off the good field position. And Benji, they lead 3-0, but I think if you're that Terps offense, you really wanted to come away with 7 there with that good field position.
Just like in week 1, Maryland had a quick, fast start, and that was from Malik Washington completing early passes and consistently. Just there, couldn't find that right momentum, but not a lot of time trickles off the clock, and they steal 3 points. Still happy if you're a Terps fan.
So we will step aside here for a quick break. Towson will get the ball back, but Maryland's ahead early in the first quarter, 3-0 over the Tigers. Three to nothing here as Maryland gets ready to kick away. They're up by a field goal after Sean O'Hare drilled one. And Terps inherited really good field position after Towson was unable to get off a good kick return to start out the game. That forced them to punt the ball into their own territory. But now the Terps will kick it back to the Tigers here. Thanks for joining us here on this Saturday afternoon on WMUC Sports, as Noyes will get ready to kick away. Maryland, as we mentioned, leads this series 3-0. This is the 4th consecutive meeting in College Park. These two teams have never met in Towson. Fair catch called in the end zone. This time it's a touchback, so Towson will have better field position this time around. Indorf just 0 for 1 in this game, just with that one attempt, and then Towson ran it 2 times. So the Tigers will just look to have a better offensive possession here. Terps have 4 on the front line, with Towson in an empty set, 5 wideouts. Indorf claps his hand, takes the snap, looks for a short pass and finds one. Pass is hauled in by Ladono for a short gain. The Terps were there for it, just a gain of 1. Al Wooten is the running back for Towson as they look to go pretty quickly here. 3 receivers to the left side, and they'll move one over to the right side. Indorf on a 2nd down and 9 with just over 11 minutes to go. Takes the snap, looks to throw, and that ball is dropped. Almost a great catch by John Dunmore. Matched up against Lakai Rowland, it falls incomplete. This is a pretty good throw from the freshman Indorf, but Dunmore unable to haul it in with one hand.
It's a nice throw on the numbers, just on the outside leverage, but ball came out fast, just couldn't hold it in. But that was also great coverage from Lakai Rowland.
3rd down and 9 here. 11:05 to go. Clock is stopped. Ball is at the 26 of Towson. Terps show pressure. 3 receivers to the left for the Tigers. 1 to the right. That's Jason Doss, the redshirt junior. Indorf will move over Kamarion Battles, the fellow freshman. Third down, they hand it off. Battles tries to bounce to the outside. He is hit hard and is well short of the sticks. Nice tackle by Trey Reddick. You know, Reddick, we talked to him at the end of last game in Gossett Hall, and you know, his demeanor was very confident, and his answers were not the most detailed, but he's really big on just letting his game speak for himself. I asked him, you know, with DeQuell Jackson and E.J. Henderson, great Terp linebackers in the building, I asked Trey, does he model his game off after any of them? And he looked at me and he just said no, because he's his own player, and I think that confidence really fuels him. Here's the punt. McLaurin calls for a fair catch and receives it at the 27. So now the Terps offense will take possession here, already up 3-0, but their defense not giving an inch here against Towson. We'll step aside here with 10:29 to go. Still 3-0 here on WMUC Sports. Nothing here in the shell as Malik Washington checks in for his second go-around on offense. He was able to guide the Terps to 3 points, capitalizing off the good field position, but now he just looks to work his way down the field. The Terps have the ball at their own 27. Washington comes in a shotgun set. Octavian Smith on the left side, two receivers on the right. Dorian Fleming, the only tight end here for the Terps. First down and 10, still in quarter number one. Fleming goes in motion to the right side. Washington fakes the handoff, throws right, pass is caught. And a solid game for Shalik Knotts, making his first appearance of the game, brought down at the 34-yard line. Gain of about 7, makes it second down and 3.
Lots of short, quick passes again for Malik Washington, and I think once he completes more of those, we'll see him take a deep shot sometime soon.
Second down and 3. Two receivers to the left. Now Knotts lines up on the left, and Ock switches over to the right side. Malik hands it off. Here's DeJuan Williams, who breaks through the hole and takes it to the 45-yard line. Great gain for Williams. He picks up 11 and a new set of downs. And so you're just talking about that, Benji. This is a Terps team that had the 3rd lowest rush yards per game in the Big Ten last season, and the run game still hasn't really been to be desired for. As the Terps go no huddle here. Williams stays in the backfield. Farouk motions inside. 3 receivers on that left side. Washington claps his hands, takes the snap, play action. Farouk, he gets a block from Smith, but he's brought down Might have lost a yard there. Nice work there by Jason Shiggs making the play for Towson.
I mean, he just saw that play from the beginning develop. Saw the block coming, broke through Smith, and got right into the hands of Farouk. It's a no gain for the Terps.
9 minutes to go here in this first quarter. Terps up by 3. Washington claps his hands, looks right. Faces a bit of pressure. He throws deep down the field. He's got a man open. That's caught. Octavian Smith Jr. racing and down inside the 5. You wanted that deep pass, Benji, and there it was. Just blown coverage along the far side, and Washington found him. A big gain, and the Terps are in business here on the goal line.
DeJuan Williams had a nice run, a few screen passes. I mean, the deep ball is just, it's due. And Maryland connects on Ox Smith Jr., and they wanted that touchdown, but they are down at the 1, maybe 2-yard line. Maryland's looking to punch in and go up 2 scores early. Nice play from the freshman.
Ball will be placed at the 3. Terps trying to punch it in here for the first time today. 3 receivers, 2 on the left, 1 on the right. That's Knotts on the right. Farouk in the slot, Smith on the left side. Washington hands it off. Williams diving for the pylon. He's got it. He breaks the plane, and the Terps continue to build. 9-0. DeJuan Williams finds pay dirt for the first time this year.
The 2 running backs for Maryland, Nolan Ray and DeJuan Williams, splitting carries throughout the season so far, but it's Williams finding the end zone first between the 2 of them. It's their first rushing touchdown on the year. That can be a quarterback's best friend moving forward, especially a freshman starting his college career. Nice start there for the Terps.
Goes for a 5-play drive, 73 yards in just 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And the Terps able to find the end zone, set up by that 53-yard completion to Octavian Smith Jr. It's his longest catch of the season by far. O'Hare looking to add the extra point, which he does. 10-0 here. Good work by the Terps. Making a big play, and DeJuan Williams cashes in for his first touchdown in his 2nd year. We'll take a quick break here on WMUC Sports and be back for the rest of this first quarter. Terps up by 10 over Towson.
The new home of Maryland basketball, the Barry P. Gossett Basketball Performance Center officially opened this past week. The 45,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility is a beacon of Maryland pride, an homage to the rich history of both programs and a guide to future championship success. Please join us right now in both celebrating this new community asset and recognizing its namesake, Barry Gossett, whose dedication, generosity, and leadership to Maryland athletics is unmatched. Thank you, Barry Gossett, for your unending support and dedication to Maryland athletics. And we're going to celebrate this way. How about a special chance for Young Terps Day? It's time to show off those muscles. Get up, it's time for the flex cam, everybody. Yeah, flex it out just like Barry.
The vibes are good here at CQ Stadium as the Terps have come out of the gates firing. They lead 10-0 here over Towson with 8:11 to go in this first quarter. Terps able to work down the field pretty quickly, fueled by that 50-plus yard reception by Octavian Smith Jr. Then on the very next play, DeJuan Williams cashed it in for a touchdown. That's where we stand here with the Terps sitting in an early double-digit lead here on WMUC Sports. Noyes will get ready to kick it away to a Towson team that's still looking to pick up their first down of the game. This is the start that Maryland wanted after they didn't exactly get off to a great start in either of the first two games, at least offensively. The Terps had that one touchdown against FAU in the first quarter, but that was Daniel Wingate making the play for the Terps on defense. And the NIU game last week, the offense was just slow in general. I think it's against the team in the MAC that you would hope to beat. But right here, Benji, they've gotten off to a good start. Part of that was because they've had a better rushing attack.
Obviously, DeJuan Williams punching it in for 6, but he also had a nice 9-10 yard run earlier in that drive that set up the big shot. We'd love to see the run game get going for Maryland. It just eases Malik Washington in and makes it more comfortable.
So now the Terps back on defense here against Towson. Indorf with 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Running back on the right side takes a snap, hands it off, and another short gain here on first down. This will set up 2nd down and long. Maybe about a yard on that last carry. As that was Caddy Phillips taking the handoff. This is a running back room for Towson that has a couple of freshmen and a grad student in Al Wooten, who's seen as more of the power guy, but lately it's been Camarion Battles who's been really good. 2nd down and 9 here from the 26. Indorf taking his time. He's got 12 seconds on the play clock to work with. 4 receivers set for Towson. 1 running back to the left hip of Indorf. Terps looking to bring 4 off the rush. Here's the snap, looking to pass. Indorf, short pass, it's caught wide open along that near sideline. Making the catch before Delhomme takes him out of bounds. That's Phillips again. He's pretty close to the sticks. They'll say he stepped out a couple yards short. Call it 3rd and 3 here from the 32.
3rd and 3 from the 32.
This is quite the test here for a freshman quarterback in Andrew Indorf. Guy who played in some of the highest high school ranks, but now for an FCS school facing a school out of the Big Ten here. 3rd and 3 for Towson. Clock continues to run. 2 receivers on each side of the line. 1 running back in the backfield. Indorf claps his hands, take the snap. Looks to his left, rolling out. He's throwing down the field. It is incomplete. He wanted Zay Perkins. It falls to the ground, and Towson with a decision here. 4th down. Looks like they're just going to punt this one.
Perkins squeezed open. There was a window of opportunity there, but a lot of pressure from Maryland. Indorf just couldn't get his feet under him and put it in the breadbasket. It's 4th down again for Towson.
From the 32, they'll punt. This is Jalil Farouk back deep for the Terps, so Josiah McLaurin gets a break out there. But for Maryland, that now marks 3 possessions and no first downs here for Towson. Good work by the Terps defense. Here's the punt away from LaFolla. It's a short line drive kick. Farouk comes up for it, makes the catch. Breaks 1 tackle and is brought down at the 34-yard line. There is a flag on the play. We'll check the flag. There's Rodney Roan making the tackle for Towson. This would be the first penalty of the game, as about 3 of the Zebras standing at the 40-yard line getting ready to make the call.
During the kick, holding, receiving team, number 2, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Call that on Braden Lee there for the holding. So that will send the Terps back a couple yards, put the ball at the 22-yard line. But I think Benji, you know, we haven't seen a lot from Malik Washington, but just the ability to make that deep throw is something that he's still trying to work on, but he was able to get the completion down the field to Smith, and so I'm sure the Terps are going to try to do that again going forward.
He's getting those opportunities, but not quite hitting his receivers yet in stride. We'll see what he can do on this drive.
1st and 10, Washington. Jet sweep, Farouk coming through. He gets a couple of blocks, breaks the tackle. Farouk still going. He's down just south of the 40-yard line. Big gain. About 26 yards, 16 yards, I would say. Puts the ball at the 40. Tackled by Miles Turner. Not that Miles Turner, but the other one here for Towson. First down and 10. Terps offense in the shotgun. They move Ray behind Washington into a pistol. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. That's Caleb Webb. Farouk in the slot. Knotts all the way to the right. Washington, play action, throwing to the right side, wide open, making the catch is Ryan Manning. That will move the chains here. Nice work by Manning, a guy who has been getting more and more action on the field as this Terps receiver room kind of starts to find itself here. A.J. Szymanski now in the game as well. Terps offense going quickly at the Towson 47. Handoff, Nolan Ray sweeps to the right side, brought down at the 45-yard line. Short gain for Ray. And it'll be second down and 8 here with 5 minutes to go in this first quarter.
I think Maryland is still figuring out when they want to use Nolan Ray and when they want to use DeJuan Williams. Obviously, running back committees are one's a speedster, one's more of a muscle guy. So we'll see how Maryland divvies up those carries.
Ray still in the backfield here with Szymanski, the tight end on the right side. Washington has 3 receivers to his left. Claps his hands, takes the snap at midfield. Washington looking left, looking deep, great protection. He throws underneath. There's Szymanski, makes the catch for he's upended just shy of the 40-yard line. It's going to set up 3rd and 3 here in Towson territory. So let's see what Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator for the Terps, draws up.
Szymanski actually fell down on that route and then got right back up. Great awareness to just make the catch, and 3rd and short for Maryland.
3 receivers to the right of Washington. That's Knotts, Manning, and Octavian Smith moving towards the offensive line. Ray in the backfield, 3rd down. They hand it off. Ray gets a block, breaks through, and picks up the first down. Good work by the Terps offensive line getting out in front. There's Ryan Howerton in there throwing a block. Ratrell Perry as well. Moves the chains for the Terps. They now sit at the Towson 35. Terps back in the pistol here. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Washington looking around, will motion Szymanski into the backfield with him and Ray. Ball at the 35, still 10-0 Terps. Washington takes the snap. Good protection. He's looking deep down the field for Shalik Knotts. He makes the catch. Brought down at the 4-yard line. Shalik Knotts, he's scored in his first 2 games this season. Has the Terps knocking on the door again.
I don't think you can put a ball in a better spot for Shalik Knotts. Little outside back shoulder action. Shalik Knotts is looking like Mr. All-Reliable from Malik Washington. 1st and goal again.
Good job working against Miles Brody. 1st down and goal at the 2-yard line. Terps knocking on the door again. Washington in the shotgun. No motion, Manning in. Read option. Washington keeps it, dives into the end zone. He's got a touchdown. Some Malik magic on the read option. Terps up by 16 as the freshman leads another drive. You don't see those read options a lot where Washington runs it, but that one he shows off the agility and the awareness, and the Terps looking to make this a 3-score game pending the extra point. Another 70-plus yard drive for the Terps. This one took a little longer, but under 3.5 minutes. O'Hare's extra point is through and good. 17-0 Terps here with 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. But Benji, the ability to extend the field with those deeper throws, you have to feel really confident here if you're the Terps early in this one.
I mean, you're stretching the field and you're doing it with multiple guys. Everyone's getting involved, and if you're doing that early, it's hard to keep up who's going to make that next big play if you're Towson defense. The one thing we haven't seen yet from Malik Washington coming into today was his legs. He obviously had the deep ball. He's had a nice few screen passes, but if he's able to open up that read option game with his legs, look out.
So the Terps cooking offensively here. We will step aside all Maryland through most of this first quarter. 17-0, Terps ahead on WMUC Sports.
September 20th. Shoot your shot to win up to $30,000 to grow your business. Right now it's time for the Maryland Lottery's Throw for Dough. Already $100 in scratch-offs in the pocket of this guy. His name is Rob. He is a finance major. move off the edge. He barely missed it, but just 10 seconds left. We got to get a couple more here, Rock. 5 seconds. Come on, Levin. One more. No. No. We got one more. That's it. $24 in scratch off for Rock. That might be enough. You never know. Takes those scratch offs a little bit. Congratulations to you. We'll do better next time, everybody. But all of you can be winners today. Thanks to Maryland Lotteries. Screw or dough. The next jackpot is a big one. Play responsibly.
A fabulous start here for the Terps as they get ready to kick away yet again. Malik Washington off to a great start in this game. 8 of 9, 139 yards and 1 touchdown. That came just now on the ground with his 2-yard rush. DeJuan Williams with the other touchdown for a Terps offense that has looked really good so far. 165 total yards in this game. And the defense not to be forgotten about as Towson still looking to pick up a first down here. Daniel Stein alongside Benji Kaufman and our spotter Owen Korzak for this one has been a fantastic start for the Terps as the crowd has settled in here. You know, when we first got here, there weren't a lot of people here, and that's probably just a testament to how early we get to the Shell. But the Maryland fans have continued to pour in here, and we are ready to go. 3:14 to go in this first quarter. Noise kicks away. Ball will be not fielded and roll out of the end zone for a touchback. Towson offense will check in once again. This team just has 11 total yards through almost 1 quarter. And, you know, a lot of was made about this Terps defense, Benji. It's pretty young. There's a lot of new faces, but so far against Towson and just in this 2025 season so far, only allowing 16 points, they've looked pretty solid.
I mean, they've been very stifling for opponents. Best start for their defense in terms of allowing points in over 20 years.
Handoff up the middle and a short gain here goes Camarion Battles. Dylan Fontes was in there for the Terps. Second down and 7. Terps are also doing this without Jalen Husky, who's not on the field at least right now. Levain Scruggs and Messiah Delome are the safeties. Here's another handoff. Crossing the 30 goes Camarion Battles again, and it's going to be 3rd down and short here. Lakai Rowland makes the tackle. Third down and 1 here. Clock continues to run. Towson will stay in the shotgun here, but they're going to make a substitution. It's Peyton Faulkner, the Kent State transfer tight end, checking in here. Indorf still not under center here. They're still going to go shotgun, but a heavier set here. 12 personnel with a couple of tight ends. 3rd down and 1. Handoff towards the right side. Mathis trying to set the edge. It's going to be close. I think Towson got there. Nice work there by Wooten picking up the first down. Just a halfback sweep to the opposite side, and Wooten, the transfer from Duke, able to punch it across the sticks.
And on that play, they had a lot of position changes, a lot of formation changes in that 30-second play clock, but they got it off just in time and picked up the first much-needed first down.
90 seconds left in this first quarter. 17-0. Terps on top of Towson here in Week 3 in 2025. 1st down and 10 after the first down for the Tigers. Wooten bounces off of a tackle and then gets stood up. Cam Rice was right in there. Maybe a yard. But again, that Terps defense has been really stout, especially on the defensive line. 2nd down and 10 here. Zahir Mathis a little slow to get up for the Terps. With some help from a Tiger, he gets back up. 2nd and 10. Towson offense now just going at their own pace here, as the referee is standing between the center and the quarterback, waiting for the substitution to finish up. Just 10 seconds on the play clock here for Towson. 1 man at each side of Indorf. They motion him out. Indorf takes the snap, looking to throw. Pressure on him. It's a screen pass. Hauled in, but a short gain. Terps got to that ball quickly as Lakai Rowland, who's been playing a bigger part in this game now with Jamari Glasker out. Makes a nice tackle. It sets up 3rd down and 8. Clock rolling down now, under 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. Towson's going to have to snap it here, as there's only 11 seconds on the play clock, about a 4-second difference. Indorf is not ready for this snap, though. And Towson is just forced to call a timeout. We were warned about this, about Towson is going to substitute a lot, both on offense and defense. But that time there, just not great communication between a freshman quarterback and his coach. And the Tigers are forced to use a timeout with just 5 seconds to go in this first quarter.
When you're already down 17-0, you don't want to beat yourself up with mistakes and delays and substitution like we just saw. So Towson's just going to have to look for strings of consistency to chip back into this game, but forced to use a timeout there, and we'll see probably the last play of the first quarter.
So far, Indorf in this game, 3 for 6, 9 yards. And their running backs have combined for 15 on the ground. So this has been as about as good of a quarter as you could ask for the Terps here. 2 touchdowns on offense. The defense has really given Towson a hard time here, and they're just 1 play away from completing it. 5 seconds to go, 3rd down and 8. Indorf drops back to pass, faces the pressure, and is swallowed in the backfield. Zahir Mathis got in there, and the freshman just continues to tear it up. And that closes the book on a dominating first quarter here in College Park. We were waiting for the Terps' first sack of the game, and we got it. So now we're a quarter of the way through this one. Towson will punt it away on the other side of the break here. All Terrapins against Towson here at the Shell. You're listening to Terps football on WMUC Sports. Don't go away.
And now, let's meet our other Maryland honorary captain today. A standout defensive back for the Terps 2004-2008. Patty Glenn Hardy played 43 games, but maybe you remember that one the most. The hit heard around the world against Cal 17 years ago today. He went on to be an ACC recognition, junior and senior seasons, a big-time leader on and off the field, the Senior Bowl, and the NFL for 4 years. Wow, we'll never forget that hit. Welcome back, Kevin Barnes!
And welcome back to College Park, Maryland, here as the Terps lead Towson 17-0 through one quarter. I will be taking over play-by-play duties. I'm Benji Kaufman alongside Daniel Stein. And it has been absolute dominance from the Terps. As Towson will punt away after a Zahir Mathis sack, with Jaleel Farouk deep to return. Safala takes it. This one's a longer punt. It goes to Farouk. And he'll field it from the 22. Farouk running side to side, trying to make a man miss, and he does. Still going, tiptoeing down to the 27. As Malik Washington and the Terps offense will take over, already up 3 scores.
We've mentioned it before, Benji, but it has been just a masterclass here from this Terps team. And this is what you expected. Going up against a team in the CAA like Towson, it's nothing against the Tigers. It's just the Terps, they're in the Big Ten, and Towson isn't. And that's the difference between these two teams. And let's just see how long the Terps can want to keep their foot on the gas for.
Washington in the shotgun, a running back to his right with 3 receivers to his left. Washington takes it, hands it off to Williams, trying to bounce outside. He's chopped down at the 33. Gain of 5, maybe 6 yards for a second and medium situation. Running game's looking good for the Terps so far. 26 yards on 8 carries. With 2 scores on the ground, 1 from Washington and 1 from Williams. Back in the gun is Washington, a receiver to 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Washington claps, and he'll hand it off again. And Williams up the middle for another first down. So far it's looking like Williams is the primary back, and Nolan Ray is coming in on 3rd down situations. Jaleel Farouk, 5th-year wide receiver, spent 4 years at Oklahoma, and now he's back home at Maryland, and he checks in.
Yeah, Williams and Ray, kind of similar builds. They both weigh about the same, around 215, but Williams is smaller, a bit more stocky. I think that's really what the Terps like when they run between the tackles, his ability to just kind of bounce off defenders.
Washington takes it, 3 receivers to his right, already rolling out right. A lot of pressure from Towson. Washington eyes downfield, and he'll just throw this one away. Smart play from the freshman, just his 2nd incompletion on the afternoon. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Maryland. 13:40 to go in the 2nd quarter. Pressure from Rodney Roan. Nice play from Towson. Maryland will come back to the middle hash here from the 41-yard line. Auto breaks, 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Running back on the right of Washington. In the shotgun once again. Malik hands it off again down the middle. It's Williams, who's been comfortable going between the tackles. He'll get another 5 or so yards. Baltimore native. He's also had 4 catches on the season, but right now he's just been involved through the ground. And it'll be 3rd and 6.
Yeah, this is a test here for the Terps. That 3rd down offense has not been great. 31% conversion rate coming into this game, but Terps have the momentum here.
They haven't had many 3rd down situations so far this afternoon. Washington from an empty set. Washington deep drop back, looking for an out route, and he's got a man. Octavian Smith Jr. inside the 35, and that's an easy first down for Maryland. Smith had the deep ball earlier on that drive that set up the first touchdown. And it's Emerald Grant with the tackle for Towson.
Yeah, they've really made these corners for Towson have a tough time. I mean, Washington, was aided by the blitz pickup on the offensive line, but Smith just runs a comeback and creates easy separation.
It's a nice grab for Smith on the numbers, and Washington takes it from the 32. Fakes it, going deep for the end zone. He's got a man in Knotts. He hauls it in. Touchdown, Maryland. Shalik Knotts with another deep ball touchdown. He beat Miles Brody, who had the pick 6 a week ago for Towson, but he had no chance there to catch up to the speed of number 4, Shalik Knotts. Makes it 23-0 Maryland.
We'll make that 3 touchdowns in 3 games now in 2025 for Shalik, and he's just been great at these kind of intermediate to deep passes. When they put him on one-on-one coverage, I mean, it's almost over every single time. And credit to Malik there, sticking in the pocket. He took a hit with the runner coming right at him through the offensive line, but he delivered a good ball, and the Terps just piling it on.
And Sean O'Hare delivers it through. The reliable kicker makes it 24-0 Maryland. And Shalik Knotts had just 1 touchdown a week ago, and through 3 games in 2025, he's got another deep ball touchdown, 3 so far. Drive only took over 2.5 minutes. They covered 73 yards. In Washington, that looked to be in stride for Knotts. That was probably his best deep ball throw of the afternoon. And Maryland is just making it look easy on offense.
Yeah, this is what you expected. Going up against this Towson team, I think that Maryland not only left a lot to be desired last week against NIU, a team that Mike Loxley admitted plays the Terps super hard every time. He has a lot of respect for their head coach. But even going back to last year when they played a team in the CAA, when they played Villanova, they won that game by double digits. But the Terps were not happy about that outcome. They wanted a bigger win, and me and Ryan Martin were on the call for that. We went to the press conference afterwards, and that was about the unhappiest you could see Mike Loxley after a win, or that you would see in a while. And so I think that the Terps had a little bit of extra momentum, especially against a team in state like Towson.
You know, it's always easy to eke out a 20-9 win. It's always good to feel good about a conference win like that. But again, Northern Illinois, you want to take care of those opponents like that. Maryland's offense clicking early, already beating their total score from a week ago, scoring 20 last week and 24 today. And we'll take a quick break from College Park on WMUC Sports. It is 24-0 Maryland. Stay tuned.
That's the jersey. Gotta put it over the top. Oh, we might get lost in there. Okay, very good. Good enough. Keep going. All right, let's get on those pants. Looking okay right now. Dwight needs to head by a little bit. He's got 1 leg. He's got 2 legs. We'll see if the clubs can slow him down. Okay, they'll come back here from Dante. Don't worry about that part. Get those gloves on. They gotta be on. And it's right to the end zone for the win. Oh my goodness. Look at that. We got some nice sportsmanship. Let's get to one of our awesome contestants. Congratulations to Dwight. You get the Terps prize back. But let's hear from both of them on your birthday. 2 years from now, they'll be on the field again.
And then the last half when it was like, we are going to the Super Bowl.
And following the Shalik Knotts touchdown, Maryland is up 24-0 here back in College Park. Just 2.5 minutes have gone by this second quarter. And Maryland is dominating this one. Malik Washington, 10 for 12, 193 yards, touchdown through the air, and a touchdown on the ground. But we'll see if the fellow freshman for Towson, Andrew Indorf, can respond and give the Tigers some life. Noise for Maryland will kick it back. This is a shorter kick. Fair catch is waved. Lucas Landano will have Towson take it for a touchback. We saw Towson's offense string together some first downs on the last drive, but they had a lot of substitution errors, were forced to use a timeout. Just not a great start for their offense.
And this was going to be a test for Towson. Maryland is by far the most difficult opponent on the Tigers' schedule this season, and it makes it more difficult when they have a true freshman quarterback. I mean, Indorf played well in his first 2 games, didn't turn the ball over, just 4 touchdowns, and you know, he's working with a pretty experienced receiving core and a couple of pretty good offensive linemen as well.
Indorf hands it off to Phillips, and he'll charge forward for 4 or 5 yards. Ball comes out, and Maryland falls on top of it easily. Maryland with the early turnover. It is Messiah Delhomme falling on top of it. And just a nightmare start for Towson as the true freshman recovers the ball. And it is another nice field position for Maryland.
This was just a great play here. I'm looking on the board trying to figure out who got that ball out. It was Delhomme who got on top of it, but it's just inside zone through the middle. And as they were taking Caddy Phillips to the ground, they just ripped the ball out, and Delhomme was right there for it. And the Terps' pursuit to the ball has been really good in this game. I think it's easy to overlook an opponent like Towson and just think, well, you know, they play in the CAA, it's whatever, but you have to play with fire consistently, and I think that that's what this Terps team has done.
And that sideline is excited. Vibes are high there as the true freshman came on top of it for a turnover, and Malik Washington will take over at the 25. And the pistol hands it off to Ray. They'll go up the middle, and he'll hold on to the ball for a 2-3 yard gain. DJ Samuels was the one who came up with the block. 2nd and 7 for Maryland from the 22. You go ahead.
DJ Samuels, a former linebacker that they've converted to fullback, and so that's sometimes you'll see big 42 in there and wonder what's he's doing there. He's blocking usually.
Washington in the gun. 2 receivers to his right. Jaleel Farouk in motion from right to left. Now he's the only receiver on the left. Running back to Washington's left, and he'll look in end zone. Pressure rolling out to his right. Washington will just throw this one away. Caleb Webb was in the area, but it's incomplete, and it's another 3rd down situation. And on that first drive for Maryland, they had another nice start in terms of field position, but they couldn't cash in and only got 3 points out of there. So we'll see how that play calling can translate to another nice start already near the red area at the 23.
It's a good job by Washington when he rolls out and he does feel the pressure. That was Branson Peters coming after him there. He's not forcing the ball. He understands the assignment. Just throw it away, live to see another down. Now the Terps got to get 8 here on 3rd.
2 receivers in a bunch on the right. Farouk alone on the top. Washington drops back, gets a block. Going for Farouk on that outside, and he's got him. Inside the 5, Jaleel Farouk. 1st and goal for Maryland. It's Miles Brody with the tackle there, saving the touchdown. It's another goal-to-go situation for Maryland, looking to put up a 30-burger in the first half.
This is pretty decent coverage. It really took a good throw to find Farouk here. He didn't have a lot of separation, but Washington just puts it right on his hands. And now the Terps just 5 yards away from a 30-point lead.
1 receiver outside on each side. Running back motions next to Washington in the gun. 1st and goal from the 5. Hands it off to Ray. He's looking to get inside, and he powers through. Waiting for the signal. Yes, touchdown, Maryland. Before it was DeJuan Williams, and then it was Washington, and now it's Nolan Ray getting in on the fun on the ground. And Maryland is just pouring it on here early in the 2nd quarter.
It's another good drive for the offense, and Nolan Ray, a guy who I don't think has had the best start to the season, and there's multiple reasons for that. Finds the seam on the inside zone, works in between the right tackle and the tight end, and just powers in. It's 30-0.
The Doak Walker Award candidate finally finds pay dirt for the first time this season. And just over 4 minutes have gone by in this 2nd quarter. Sean O'Hare will attempt the extra point, and he makes it 31-0. There's Jaleel Farouk converting on that deep 3rd down. Already up to 4 catches. Knotts with 3 catches. They are sharing the wealth. 3 different guys scoring on the ground. Just what you like to see from Maryland, and not relying on one guy in particular.
Yeah, how about 263 yards of total offense and basically just over a quarter. I mean, the Terps just forced that first turnover of the game, but right now they are taking care of business here, up 31-0.
When we come back, Towson will try to chip into that lead. You are listening to Maryland football on WMUC Sports. Do not go anywhere.
All right, seat card holders, show us your card right now. Show us that seat card, wave it around. That guy's got the idea. Okay.
back in College Park where Maryland is up 31-0 with 10:45 to go in the second quarter following a 1:39 drive. They'll kick it back to Towson. It was just 22 yards of total offense. They're looking to string together some plays and chip back into this deep early deficit. Dono and Reynolds back deep to return for the Tigers. Noya's low kick. This one bounces into the hands of Londano, and he fields it from the 10. Tries to make a man miss. He does. Londano squeezes to the 29. And a solid return for Towson, and it's Darius Grimes for the Terps making the tackle.
Yeah, big hit there on Londano, and I'm not sure if that kick was intentional or not, but it was just ended up being a squib and forced the Tigers to bring it out. But pretty similar field position here, if not better field position for Towson at the 29.
We've seen linebacker Daniel Wingate for Maryland come in and out on drives, so looks like he'll start this drive off the field. Freshman Andrew Indorf in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his right, 2 spread out to his left. Drops back, fires an easy out route, and he's got a man in Camarion Battles for 8 yards. We'll give him 4 yards. He stepped out of bounds. Nice play to start the drive.
Yeah, they put Mathis in coverage. It's obviously not his natural footing as an outside linebacker, and a short gain, you know, you have to pile plays together and just, you know, take it one down at a time.
Mathis had the sack earlier. Andrew Indorf catches it. Another out route, and he's got a man. Caught for a first down for the Tigers, finally stringing together some positive yardages. There's not going to be a 30-point play, but it's Lucas Londano who hauls in the first down catch. Ball's already at midfield for the Tigers. Making substitutions, the Towson Tigers. John Dunmore coming in. Had the game-winning touchdown a week ago. 2 receivers to his right, 3 to his left. Empty set for Indorf. Drop back pressure. Tries to lob it for Dunmore. He changed shoulders last second, couldn't haul it in. It's Messiah Delhomme in coverage. Recovered the fumble on the previous drive, and it's 2nd and 10.
And John Dunmore, a real interesting story. A guy who was a 4-star recruit, has plenty of talent, spent a couple years at Oregon State. You can see him, he's a real fluid runner out there. He had the step on the freshman Delhomme, but just not quite in sync there with Indorf on that last throw.
He was that wide receiver leader a year ago. He's looking to do the same this season. Indorf in the gun with 3 receivers to his left. Receiving signals from the sideline. Indorf will reset with the running back to his right. Takes the snap from the 48. Drops back. Pressure sacked. Maryland collides. And it's Ian Thomas with the pressure, as well as Jalen Husky. And that'll bring up 3rd and a mile for the Tigers.
Well, the Terps drop pressure there. It's just an overload blitz off the weak side, and Indorf, I think he felt the pressure, but there's just nothing he can do about it. And it sets up 3rd and long here.
3rd and 18 from the 40. Maryland in a 2-high look. 3 receivers to his left, 1 in motion. Indorf just hands it off. And Camarion Battles doesn't get anything, but there is a flag on the field, as the clock will stop at 8:56. Thomas was there for the tackle.
And Carlton Smith in there as well. The way they're indicating, this might go against the Terps, but we'll see what the call is here.
Either team is motioned to move back or forwards.
Personal foul, face mask, defense,
Call the face mask on Ian Thomas, who had the sack, and then he comes out on this play following the penalty, and Towson's offense gets a much-needed break, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 44.
Yeah, it's tough on 3rd down and 18. You could see it. Thomas definitely brought him to the ground using the face mask. Joel Starlings will replace him on the D-line for now, but Towson gets a break.
Indorf fakes the handoff, looking to drop it off to Londano, and he'll just throw it over his head incomplete. Nice pressure there from Nasir Taylor.
Nazir Taylor, another interesting story, a very highly recruited player, a true freshman playing on this line as Neo Avery still gets ready to come back here. And, you know, so it's a pretty young defensive line. I mean, 3 of the 4 main pass rushers, if you include Taylor, are true freshmen. It's only Rice who's the real veteran of the group.
Dorf in the gun with a running back to his left, drops back, he fires it for Al Wooten, and he'll pick up a nice gain, hit hard by 3 Terps out of bounds. And that will move the chains for a Tigers first down. And Husky with the tackle, who was there with 2 fellow Terps. Towson making substitutions, not going into the huddle. 2 receivers to Indorf's right, 1 to his left with a tight end near the line. Indorf, he'll keep it, trying to float one to the end zone. He's got a man, and it's Londono who couldn't corral it. Incomplete. Was open, and if the ball is thrown in stride, that could have been a touchdown. It's Jaden Ships who was in coverage. Londono had to turn around to his other shoulder. He couldn't corral it.
Yeah, he had to step on Ships there, and if this ball is delivered just in front of him, it's an easy catch in the red zone, if not a touchdown, as Gavin Edwards is pretty far away there. But Londono, I think he still has to catch that ball back shoulder, but still Indorf didn't quite put it where he wanted.
Indorf on 2nd and 10, high snap. No issues at fielding it. He'll run it up the middle. Indorf barreling his way to the 20. That'll be a first down for the Tigers. Their best drive of the game so far. The Tigers are moving, and back to that incomplete pass. Londono was running, expecting more of an inside throw. Indorf delivers on the outside shoulder. Miscommunication there, but Indorf makes up for it with that nice 12-yard run, and it's first down. Indorf, 3 receivers to his right. Wooten to his right as well. And Bryce Butler, the tight end, lined up to the left. Just about halfway through the second quarter. Indorf steps in and hands it off to Wooten, who's tripped up from behind and then wrestled down by another Terp. He'll get about 4 yards there for 2nd and 6.
Yeah, it was a good job. It's a trap play here, so Rice sheds his block quickly, but he has to work around the offensive lineman and chase down the running back.
Indorf hands it off to Wooten. Quick snap there, and he gets nothing. Wrestled around, and Wooten's helmet comes off, which means he'll have to leave this next play. Here, another running back for Towson makes his way onto the field for 3rd and 4.
It's Battles checking in, and it's just another inside zone. I think D.D. Holmes kind of ripped his helmet off there at the end. Battles is the 3rd down running back anyway, but 3rd down and 4 here. This has been a good drive for Towson. Let's see if Maryland can make a stand and force them to kick.
And if you're Towson, it's 12 men on the field. Ref finishes making his announcement, and it's a 12 men on the field penalty for the Terps. I mentioned they will repeat 2nd down. This will be 2nd and 1 from the 12-yard line. And if you're Towson, you cannot afford to come out of this drive with just 3 points. They're looking to cash in for 6. 2 receivers out wide to his right. 2 to his left here on the left hash. Indorf with Battles on his left. Dunmore in motion. Indorf looking right. Fires to the end zone in double coverage. Incomplete. Receiver didn't even turn around for it. And it was the 2 Terps in coverage. That's Dante Joyner, who had a pick 2 weeks ago against FAU. He tried one there, but it was incomplete. And it's 3rd and short.
Yeah, kind of a collapsing pocket. He just threw that ball in double coverage. It's supposed to be a high-low concept, but both corners for the Terps just kind of drift back into coverage. And that could have been an interception. I mean, it's always good to target a guy like John Dunmore, who, you know, of course, had that game-winning touchdown last week, but you can't force it, especially not in the red zone. And now it sets up 3rd and 1 here. But the good thing was that's an end zone shot. All you got to get here is 3 feet. So Looks like Kevin Humes was coming off the field on that last play.
It's an injury timeout as Ian Thomas exits the field. Had the sack earlier this drive. It's 3rd and 1 for the Tigers. Gotta believe they'll have 2 chances at this, as they may not settle for 3. 2 tight ends. Ian on the left side for Towson, 2 receivers to his right. Indorf hands it off. Nope, he keeps it. Looking end zone again, in double coverage. This ball's nearly picked off again by Joyner. He couldn't believe he didn't grab that. That ball is incomplete. Again, Dunmore didn't really have a step on it. Joyner looked like he was playing receiver, and he just couldn't haul it in, and it's 4th and 1.
I just don't understand. That's basically the same play. It's just the same concept. And I mean, you have 2 cracks at 2nd down and 3rd down and 1. You don't run it both times. You know where you're going here.
Indorf high snap, and he hands it off. Battles, powers through. We'll see what the marker says. Maryland thinks they got the stop, and they did. Turnover on downs for Towson as they come off empty. And Maryland, following a big drive, comes away with nothing. It's Daniel Wingate. Who else making the stop?
I gotta tell you, that approach by Chinnick in the offense was just not. I'm no coach, but to me, it's one thing to throw the ball on 2nd down and 1. Okay, fine. You have 3rd down, 4th down if you need to. So then on 3rd down, they go play action and run basically the same play. And all that does is basically guarantee that you're going to run the ball on 4th down and short. Because if they throw the ball 3 times in a row, then that's just really trying to play 5-dimensional chess when you really don't need to be. So that's for Towson, the execution wasn't there, sure, but I don't think the planning was there either. And they'll have some time to think about it here during the break.
We'll be right back from College Park as Maryland, following the long drive, gets the stop and stays winning 31-0. You are listening to WMUC Sports. .6:28 to go in the 2nd quarter. Maryland finds itself up 31-0, and Malik Washington in, and starting from the 12-yard line. DJ Samuels, that linebacker, fullback, hybrid player, is in for Maryland with DeJuan Williams at halfback. Pistol situation for Maryland in formation. Still waiting on the refs to give them the go-ahead, and they do. Receiver to his left, 1 to his right. Washington claps, takes it, and hands it off to Williams, who's met right at the line, and he'll pick up a yard, maybe 2. It'll be 2nd and 10 or 9. Farouk and Fleming check in for Samuels and Szymanski. CJ McClendon with the tackle for Towson. He's one of their leading tacklers for the Tigers, and it's 2nd and 10, just under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Washington with a running back to his left, 2 receivers to his left as well, 1 to his right, and he looks to the one on his right, and it's Ryan Manning trying to make a man miss, and he'll get up to the 20 before being met by 3 Towson Tigers. It'll be 3rd and short in their own territory.
It's a little thing, but I really like this throw from Malik because it's just a little hook. He goes back shoulder, and I think Manning actually made the wrong read on this play. If he initially turned towards the sideline, if he just kept going, I think he might have had a shot at picking up the first down. Instead, he spun back the other way, and it makes it 3rd and short.
Running back in motion for Washington. Williams will move to his right. Washington looking down the middle, and this ball is thrown into traffic, but there is a flag. That ball was intended for Caleb Webb, but there was a lot of contact there from Zakat Brown. We'll see what the refs say. Maryland thinks it's a penalty.
Looking at the replay on the board, this throw was maybe a little bit behind on the slant. Maybe just a bit too much contact. Check the call.
3rd down. Doesn't seem Maryland's offense is going anywhere. We'll see what the ref says.
Pass interference, defense, 12. Ball placement, spot on foul. First down.
Zakat Brown, the sophomore from Newark, New Jersey, who does have a pass breakup on the year, but right there, just too much contact. And they will reset the chains for the Terps.
It's the first Towson penalty today. The Terps had the only fouls in this game, but first on the Tigers.
Washington under center. Haven't seen that a ton this afternoon. And he'll hand it off to Williams. To the right, left side, gets good blocking and stays upright for 7 yards. Clock will still move, but nice blocking from Maryland's offensive line. This is Mansky and Samuels. Heavier set checking in for Maryland with Jalil Farouk running to the sideline. As well as the other tight end, Dorian Fleming. Washington in the pistol. DJ Samuels to his right with Williams behind him. Receiver to his left and 1 to his right. Octavian Smith Jr. motions inside. 2nd and 3, hands it off to Williams. He'll power his way through for another first down. Keep the chains moving as Maryland gets up to the 38 to the 37-yard line. Maryland looks to cash in right before the end of the half.
Is a bit more methodical of an approach here from the Terps offense, and I think they're really just in no rush. Obviously, it's a huge lead, but 4 minutes left in this first half, and Terps are going to get the ball on the other side too. They can just get points with no time left. That's ideal.
Washington, 2 receivers to his right, hands it off to Williams again, who couldn't get out of the hands of the Towson linebacker. Nice play made. Miles Turner with the tackle, and he barely got any yards, maybe 1. But yeah, Maryland not taking a lot of shots on this drive, just methodically moving down the field, taking a lot of time. You'd be happy with 3 points getting the ball on the other side of halftime. Washington with 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left, the running back on his left. Washington, deep drop back. Malik surveying, gets out of a man, and he'll take off running. Malik Washington up the middle, slides to the 50. And that's another first down. Seeing the legs again from the freshman.
This is something I feel like we actually haven't seen that much from Malik this season because he's such a polished pocket passer that you don't see him scramble. He hasn't needed to. And this is just what happens. The red line parts like the Red Sea, and he just goes right across the red M and picks up a first down. Now they're in Towson territory here, or they're knocking on the door at least.
Certainly has that athletic ability. Yeah, he just hasn't had to scramble a whole ton. Offensive line doing a solid job this afternoon. 2 receivers to his right, the 1 and left in motion, that's Farouk. Now 3 receivers to his right. In the gun, hands it off to Williams. Breaks a first tackle, and he's met at the 45. Maryland just keep moving inch by inch. That longest play of the drive coming from Washington to get another 5-6 yards as we approach just 2 minutes left in the first half. 2nd and 4 from the 45. 2 high safety look from Towson. 2 receivers to the right for Maryland. Washington hands it off side to side for Williams. Aggressive tackling. He'll get 2 yards there. And the clock will stop at 1:56 for the 2-minute warning. Maryland up 31-0, knocking on the door once again. See if the Terps come to score on the other side of this break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned on WWC Sports. Terps offense knocking on the door once again inside Towson territory. Ball is set at the 44 for 3rd and 3. Washington already having a very solid first half. Looking to cash in even more at the end of this half. Maryland does get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. And 1:56 to go following the 2-minute timeout. Both teams get ready to come back to action. Dorian Fleming to the left with 2 receivers to the right of Washington. 2 tight ends in motion. Everyone on the right side. 3rd and 3. Washington hands it off to Ray. He will inch towards that marker. See what the refs spot him. Might have had a last-minute reach, but they mark him short.
This is a really good run by Ray. It was definitely supposed to go up the middle. He bounces it to the outside. I tell you, I mean, it's 4th down, but they got to go for this. This is just a matter of inches here.
This is a short 1 yard, and we know Sean O'Hara does have a big leg, but Maryland to show that off that aggressive energy early. Cash in for more than a field goal. Similar formation. Washington hands it off to Ray. No, Washington keeps it. Legs go. Washington, a lot of room to run, and he's tripped up at the 25. Big play on 4th down. 1st and 10 Terps. Alfred Thomas with the tackle for Towson.
Maybe one of the longest rushes we've seen from Washington, and he was that close to breaking it there. But nice job there recognizing the read option. You really just have to make sure that that edge rusher crashes or stays with the QB. Washington read it well and picked up a 1st down.
We asked earlier in this game if we'd see more of that read option energy. We saw right there on 4th down. Washington 1st and 10 from the 25. Under a minute to go in the 2nd quarter. They hand it off to Ray up the middle. He is met and spun around for a 2-yard gain. Alfred Thomas again on that stop. And the Terps will call a timeout to rethink things over. The first timeout used in this half.
Yeah, and you got time here. I mean, 45 seconds to go 23 yards on second down. So I think for the Terps, the name of the game here is just any points is good, but you got to attack Towson. I mean, this has been a pretty methodical drive so far. Nothing super deep via the passing game. The run game has done a lot of the work. This is good for the Terps. I think if you just look at the way that the running game has gone, Nolan Ray hasn't been fantastic, just averaging 3 yards a carry. He does have the touchdown, though. Washington's used his legs well. DeJuan Williams, I think, has really been impressive, averaging 4.5 yards a carry with a touchdown as well. But I think if you're the Terps here, you have the confidence to use your receivers here.
This drive nearly amassing 6 minutes, taking their time. 2nd and 8 from the 23. 2 receivers to the left, 1 in motion with now 2 receivers to the right. Washington claps and takes it, looking outside. Nice throw for Knotts. Shalik Knotts powering his way for a first down. And Maryland will call timeout. Might have been ruled short. Chains aren't moving quite yet. They mark him down 3rd and inches.
Yeah, they're going to mark him short, Benji. I think that, again, we saw this before. It's situational awareness. If you're Knotts, you really got to go for the sideline there, because I don't really think there was any way he was going to pick up that first down unless he made a lot of people miss there. But if he goes out of bounds, he potentially gets the first down, but he 100% stops the clock. And unfortunately, because of that, the Terps have to use another timeout here.
And those are the kind of quirks you work out in non-conference play, because you can't afford to make, not mistakes, but little hiccups like that against Big Ten opponents, where the margin of error is much smaller. 35 seconds to go in the half. 3rd and 1 for Maryland from the 16. Smith in motion, Washington under center, and he'll toss it out to Washington, who is met 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. What a huge play from C.J. McClendon on 3rd down. We haven't seen a lot of that toss all afternoon, but that is a loss of 5, and Maryland has a decision to make, as the clock still ticks. 17 seconds to go. They might just roll this one down for a last-second field goal.
Yeah, as we hear the soothing sounds of 4-2 Doug here at CQ Stadium, that call to me I wasn't impressed with. I think the halfback toss on 3rd down and 1, you know, Williams has ran the ball really well today, but you're asking Octavian Smith Jr., who's 6 foot 182, to go up against C.J. McClendon, an outside linebacker, to seal that edge, and he just wasn't able to. So now not only does that make a longer field goal for Sean O'Hare, but I think it's just doing too much. But in the end, this is really nitpicking, because the Terps are up 31-0, and if they can go into this half up by 34, I think that that's just fine. But I think that one might leave a sour taste in the mouth of Mike Loxley here.
Sean O'Hare will look to make it 34. This will be about a 37-yard kick. 3 seconds to go. Clock is stopped. And a timeout is called by Towson, using its 2nd of the half, looking to ice the kicker.
That's how you know this is an in-state rivalry. Towson down by 31 points, 4+ scores, and they're like, I'm going to ice the kicker. But this has been a really good first half for Maryland. I think that you have to be really happy with 324 yards of total offense in the first half. They ran the ball definitely better than in the previous couple of games. Malik has looked sharp. The defense has been incredible. And we're just trying to finish strong here with the field goal.
Washington 13 of 16 for 226 yards. Touchdown through the air and on the ground, as O'Hare is lining up a 39-yard try to extend this Maryland lead. Noyes takes the snap. O'Hare delivers this one right through as Maryland extends its lead 34-0 as both teams enter the half. Absolute dominance from Maryland in this in-state non-conference matchup. We will take a break from WMBC Sports at halftime. Daniel Stein will take over play-by-play opportunities in the third quarter, as we will be right back. Maryland up big, 34-0. You are listening to WMBC Sports.
At this time, we direct your attention to the field. That's where Jordan Johnson, Maryland Sports Properties Manager of Partnership Services, is presenting today's game ball to local manager Frank Krause of Wise Markets. Thanks a lot to Wise Markets for their generous support of the Terps. For your halftime entertainment. Looking out to the screen on a hot day. Maybe you brought a surfboard, maybe not. Either way, we are headed to the beach. That's the theme this week, and our first tune suggests that we need to live life with a smile. Let's start things off with Gerald Bro's 2002 hit song, Soak Up the Sun. Our next song is called The Beach Party, that's visited by all the sea creatures in the ocean. With Maryland Dancing, here's the 1978 debut single from the B-52s, Rock Lobster. In 1988, the Beach Boys hosted the world, a little place off the Florida Keys where you can get there fast and take it slow. How about a little trip down to Kokomo? Tradition continues. You gotta love this. Spending the day with the mighty sound of Maryland, more than 250 students from Maryland, Virginia, Delaware. Please welcome these talented students to the field as they join the mighty sound of Maryland in performing the upbeat tune from Lilo and Stitch. The soundtrack is A Lion Roller Coaster Ride. like to wish these special messages to the following fans on the screen. To the University of Maryland in honor of her late husband, Dr. Rudolph A. Rudy, beloved former dean of the Robert H. Smith School of Business. Her generosity really is the center. Rudy founded at the David Lamone Center of ensuring his vision of innovation and opportunity will continue to inspire generations of Trumpers. Join us right now and thank Linda for her leadership, her generosity, and dedication to the university and the state of Maryland. Students, last chance here. I know you've done this already, but we'll give you one more shot at it. Get that QR code that gets you entered to win the premium prizes you can walk away with today. We're talking 55-inch TV, AirPod Max, Bose earbuds, the iPad or the JBL Party Box speaker. All you have to do to enter to win is scan that QR code and then stick around to see who leads in the fourth quarter. You gotta be here to claim the prize. Good luck. Physician Insurgents, official laser surgeon of the Maryland Terrapins. Proud to highlight the turf of the week from volleyball is Drew Coaches. And the most state-of-the-art technology in surgical procedures to silence physicians and surgeons. FH Berg is your home. Home's MVP for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. To stay in championship form, visit fhberg.com.
Introducing the only debit card packed with fan perks like game day discounts, merch deals, and tons of other rewards. They don't even move those checks. You just chip loud and proud. Your Turks debit card is waiting at TurksBanking.com.
All right, Turks, this year I will see every young student, alumni, and fan roll up their sleeves and give love. Go to BigTen.org/habit and let's show Big Ten what it means to fear the Turks.
That
beginning of the second half here at the Shell. We're just about 20 seconds away from the start of the third quarter. Thanks for spending your Saturday afternoon with us here at WMUC Sports. Daniel Stein alongside my partner Benji Kaufman. This game has not been close through one half. The Terps up over Towson 34-0. The two freshman quarterbacks have been squaring off, but there's been one that's been a little better than the other.
And his name is Malik Washington, star recruit freshman for Maryland. 13 of 16 for 226 yards and a touchdown, as well as 29 yards on the ground and a score with his legs as well. If we look at Andrew Indoor for Towson, just 6 of 14, 40 yards. Just a nightmare day for Towson as Maryland looks to pile it on in this second half.
Towson's last drive of the first half, they went the length of the field, but were stopped on 4th down and 1 in the red zone. And now they will send it away to the Terps here. Caden Williams will boot it away with the left foot. And we are underway in the second half here. Towson now going left to right. Terps will go right to left. Here's the return. Josiah McLaurin takes it to the 20-yard line before he's tackled by the ankles. And Washington and the offense will get it at the 20. Malik in this game, 226 yards, 2 total touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 1 in the air. It's been a very balanced attack, almost 100 yards of rushing yards and a lot of different receivers getting the ball as well. Shalik Knotts with a touchdown in this game through the air. Washington has completed passes to 5 different receivers here. Just looks to keep the momentum going. Terps will start out in a 3-receiver set, all 3 to the left side, as is the running back Ray in the backfield. Washington takes the snap, first play, screen pass caught by Jalil Farouk. He breaks a tackle and is brought down near the B and the Big Ten sign, just shy of the 30-yard line. A solid first down gain for the Oklahoma transfer Farouk. Brought down by CJ McClendon for the Tigers. Gain of 7, second down and 3 at the 27. So far, still the starters on offense here. There are some questions whether Malik Washington would be out there in the start of the second half. Mike Loxley said yes, he would. And that's where we are. Second down and 3. Washington under center now. He's got Szymanski and Ray in the backfield and the receiver on each side. Washington takes snap play action. Good protection. He's looking deep down the field. He's got a man open. There's Ock. He makes the catch, makes a man miss, and is spun out of bounds north of the 40-yard line. That will move the sticks, I should say, and puts Maryland close to midfield here.
Maryland's longest drive came at the end of the first half. They didn't have a lot of plays like that, a lot of longer, medium-length throws. There's a lot of piecing together small plays, but now coming out of the second half, nice shot from Washington to Smith.
So 1st and 10, Malik under center once again. Michael Hershey, the center for Maryland. Dorian Fleming works his way across in motion. Handoff, Ray on the far side, gets about a yard before he walks out of bounds. Be a short gain on first. Just 90 seconds passed here in the third quarter so far. All Maryland in this one. The student section has thinned out considerably. I would say the most full section in our group here is the Maryland Band. Mighty Sound of Maryland still here. Second down and 9 here at their own 43. Terps have 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Washington claps his hands, low snap. He's going to have to get out of pressure. He stiff arms a defender. His throw is bobbled and intercepted by the Tigers. Still going with it is a defensive lineman. He's brought down at the 5-yard line. That was J.R. Stiegel. That is a weird way for Washington to throw his first interception. A play that seemingly wasn't his fault. Sets the Tigers up inside the 5 here.
Seems like the play broke down, rolled out to his right, and Ray was right there, but it was just thrown behind him, tipped off his right hand into the hands of Stiegel for Towson, and now a dream scenario to get your first points today for the Tigers. Bit of a head-scratcher for Maryland's offense there.
So a sudden change here as Andrew Indorf will lead his offense onto the field. They don't have super far to go at the 5-yard line. Indorf in the shotgun with 2 receivers to his left and 1 to his right. Man comes in motion. Indorf hands it off. Up the middle goes Wooten, and he is stood up. Couldn't get beyond the offensive line. It goes for a loss of 1. Second down and goal. It's Trey Reddick making the tackle for the Terps. Clock continues to run, so for Washington, he had his first turnover last week against NIU, losing a fumble. And this time, on that same end of the field, he throws an interception.
Both of those were weird-looking plays. When that fumble, he just kind of placed the ball on the ground, trying to regain his balance, and there, just a throw behind Ray.
Second down and goal from the 6. Indorf back to pass. He rolls right, faces the pressure, throws into the end zone, looking for Dunmore, incomplete. Out of the end zone, not catchable. It's third down and 6.
That was Jalen Husky in coverage. Does have a TFL on the year, but most of his shine comes from in coverage. Nice play there for number 22.
Can the Terps make a stand here? They were able to make a fourth down stop at the end of the last half. They're not quite there yet. Still got to get through third down. Instead of facing the Terps fans in the crowd, now all that's in front of Towson beyond the end zone is Gossett Hall. Just needs 6 yards here as the clock reaches near 12 minutes left in this third quarter. Indorf drops back to pass, feels the pressure, rolls out to the near side. Almost was able to get away from a tackle. His throw is intercepted, picked off by Lakai Roland. Roland still going with it. He's to the 30, to the 40. Roland crossing into midfield, still going. Now to the 30, the 20, the 10. It's a pick 6 for the Terps. 94 yards. That is why you tell your quarterbacks not to throw across your body. Indorf tried to make a play after being pressured by Fontes. Roland snuck up, made the catch, and took it all the way across. And it's 40-0, Maryland on top.
The freshman mistake leads to fireworks on the other end. And I know the fans have thinned out at halftime, but that was the loudest I heard the shell this afternoon. Just a sensational play from Lakai Roland, who turned up the jets once he reached the middle of the field. It's another pick 6 for Maryland's defense on the year.
O'Hare's extra point is up and good. 41 for the Terps, 0 for the Tigers. As we'll check the flag here. Terps may have to re-kick this one. But that's now 2 key stops in the red zone. As the penalty was on Towson, it was declined, and the point will stand. But what a return from Roland. He had to navigate through the Towson offense, but once he crossed midfield, there was nobody even close to him.
It was a tough play for Indorf, but there was a split second where the receiver flashed open, but Lakai Roland at his makeup speed just jumps right in front of the play, catches it on the numbers, and takes it the distance.
So we will step aside here for the media timeout, but Maryland continues to make big plays on defense. They had a pick 6 in the first, and now they get another one here in week 3 of the season. Roland takes it the length of the field. Terps up 41 here on WMUC.
Now is the time. Sardi's taking for chicken. We got 2 contestants here. They're going to kick the ball. Whoever punches the furthest gets $250. Sardi's Peruvian chicken. I got Dylan. He's a freshman over here. He thinks he's going to win. Good for a freshman. Dylan. Maybe. But look at the older guy, right? We got a graduate. This Jew shooter right here. He's Ben. He's wearing a black jersey, but don't think about what kind of jersey it is. Okay. Go to the 30-yard line, guys. Let's see how well you do. All right. Ben, you're going first. Punch that thing. Let's see how far it goes. Not bad. All the way from middle to the end zone. Okay, who thinks that he can beat that? Who thinks Dylan can do it? All right. Dylan, on you. The ankle. No! Our grad student, the widely veteran Edmonton. Congratulations, $250 in Peruvian chicken. You sharing that with anyone? Figures. All right. Way to go, man. Congratulations. Don't forget, he's not the only winner. You guys are all winners. You can check out the QR code for the screen throughout the game right now. And sorry, rewards. UMP
Well, there are few fans remaining in this stadium as this game has gotten out of hand, but the fans that did leave just missed an incredible play. Lakai Rowland brought officially back a 94-yard pick six, but it really was in the hundreds as he picked that ball off in the end zone and took it the entire length of the field. And that's where we stand here, 41-0. Terps get ready to kick it away against Towson. This has just been an all-around dominating performance here from the Terps. The question now will be, will any offensive starters and which ones start out on the field? Noyes gets ready to kick it away. Towson just takes it through the end zone, touchback. 11:51 to go. Long way to go in the second half here. So far, Terps starters defensively on the field. Daniel Wingate, Cam Rice, Zahir Mathis, Trey Reddick, Jalen Husky on the field. But for Andrew Indorf in this game, it has just not been his day. 6 of 16, 40 yards, and an interception.
And one of those starters that we mentioned in the pregame that was out today is Jamari Glasker, who was a top 20 DB in the portal. But no Glasker, no problem, as Lakai Rowland has been making up for it today with a few nice tackles and, of course, the pick six that we just saw.
First down here for the Tigers. Terps had some trouble defensively switching around. There's a flag thrown. It's a short gain. As Bryce Jenkins, the freshman, was checking in, and they kind of had to shift the offensive line. We'll check the penalty. It's like all offsides on Zahir Mathis as he was just trying to tiptoe through. He made contact with the offensive line, called for the penalty. Be 1st and 5 here at the 30. Towson getting the sign. Indorf still in this one. Marion Battles, the running back. One receiver to the left, 2 to the right. 4 men on the defensive line for the Terps, 3 linebackers. Indorf hands it off. Through the middle goes Battles, past the 30 up to the 33. The second down and short here after a pickup of about 9 feet.
Towson has just had no room to run today. 17 carries for 22 yards. Between 4 players, only 1 player amassing more than 10 yards. Maryland has just been there, meeting them right at the line. No room to run.
2nd and 3 with 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. 3 receivers to the right. Indorf drops back to pass. Under pressure, he throws. It is hauled in, no, incomplete. Good coverage by Jalen Husky against the tight end Bryce Butler, the Ohio transfer. Set up 3rd and short. So solid throw by Indorf, feeling the pressure. Terps brought a stunt. Cam Rice just got into the backfield quickly, but it falls incomplete. 3rd down and 3 here.
Jalen Husky, of course, he made the transition from cornerback to safety last year, and he's been doing a fine job for the Terps here in his 2nd year.
3rd and 3, 3 receivers to the right, 1 running back next to Indorf. Does Ted Monachino draw up some pressure? Or do the Terps sit back in coverage? 3rd down and 3. Indorf claps his hands, takes the snap, hands it off to Battles. Battles navigates, and he is short of the first. About 2 yards. They'll mark him a yard short. Indorf thinks it's a 1st down. At the very least, he wants to go for it. Just the offensive line for Towson really hasn't been able to open up any seams on the offensive line. Cam Rice has really been in there.
It hasn't been a ton of TFLs for Maryland's defense. They're just meeting them at the line for a lot of no gains, 1 or 2 yards. We'll see what happens on 4th and 1 if they do it again.
Towson's going to go for it here. 4th and 1. Why not? Down by 41. Ball at the 34. They got to get to the 35. In the shotgun, 3 receivers to the right. Maryland putting the front 7 close to the line. Indorf clapping his hands with 2 seconds, 1 second. And Towson will let the play clock expire.
I think they were just going to see if Maryland would jump off sides. Towson's offense regrouping. We're deciding for the punt team to come on. We'll see after this timeout.
So they will get charged a timeout there. Pete Shinnick uses one of his 3. And we'll see whether the Tigers will punt on the other side of this timeout here. I think at this point, this game now just turns into not a walkthrough, but a practice, essentially. You don't want to get complacent if you're the Terps, but Towson now will bring out the punting team. They'll send Bryce LaFollette out there. Josiah McLaurin back deep for the Terps. So now will Malik Washington see the field again? That is the question.
Puts on his helmet on the sideline, Malik Washington. Looks like he'll give it a go one more time. Maybe one more drive, and then we'll see Christian Martin get some action, because you never want to end your day on an interception when you don't have to.
4th and 1 from the 34. LaFollette ready to punt it away. Kick almost blocked. End over end. Forces McLaurin back to the 15 to take the kick. McLaurin makes the catch, races up past the 20, close to the 25, call it the 23, where he's brought down. So Terps will get possession here. And we'll check to see who's the starting quarterback. Looks like it is going to be Washington here, with the starters as well. Christian Martin does have his helmet on. In fact, all the quarterbacks do. So this is just going to be a group huddle here. We'll step aside here with the media timeout and be back. All Terps here in the 3rd quarter. .950 remains here in this 3rd quarter. Terps up 41-0. They'll get the ball at their own 23 against the Towson team that just punted it away. Malik Washington still out there, as Terps will start in a single back set.
Both Ray and Williams on the sideline to start this drive.
It's Iverson Howard in the backfield here for the Terps, the freshman from Gaithersburg. Washington takes the snap, hands off. Here's Howard through the right side. Gets a good block, fights for a couple of yards, and a nice run by the true freshman. He's close to the sticks. That should move the chains.
Howard's a freshman, but he had a lot of experience in high school, played varsity all 4 years, and just 10 carries coming into today, but it's a nice one there to start the drive. 1st down.
DJ Samuel's also in the game here as the de facto fullback on this team. Him and Howard in the backfield with Washington with 2 receivers left, 1 on the right. They hand it off. Washington a misdirection is stood up. That is a loss of 1. We'll make it 2nd and 11 here as the clock continues to wind. Nice job by Trayvon Adams getting in there for the Tigers. Washington, that interception, of course, charged to him, although you can't really feel that it's his fault. He hit Ray in the hands, and it just kind of bounced out of them. Nonetheless, it goes against a mark. 2nd and 11, screen pass. That ball is tipped up and incomplete. Fleming batted it to himself, but couldn't find it. He's been quiet in this game. We haven't seen him make a catch or really mentioned his name, and he's been really good this season with a touchdown, and he's placed himself on the Mackey watch list. I mean, he's been fantastic coming over from Georgia State. But now it's 3rd and 11 here. Towson's defense trying to make a stand. Washington from the 32. 2 receivers on the left, 1 right. Washington uncorks down the field, open, and making the catch for the first down is Octavian Smith. Had to come back for that ball as the timing was a little bit off, but Ock hauls in his 4th catch of the game, working against Zakaa Brown.
And talking about Fleming, he's got a touchdown in 4 straight games, but it's really been all the other pass catchers who are getting in on the fun today, and he'll look to hit pay dirt on this drive.
1st down and 10 from the Terps 45. Washington under center. Hands it off. Howard going the other way. Bounces it outside, but the Tigers are there for him. Maybe got back to the line, but a side judge rules he lost a yard. Good work there by Shiggs making the tackle.
He's not easy to break down. On each of his 3 carries, he's made the first man miss, or at least work for it. That 3rd string running back getting some good reps today.
Second down and 11 here. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Farouk in the slot, Ock out to the right side. Howard still in the backfield. They hand it to him again. And he bursts through the seam and picks up about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and medium here for the Terps, as Miles Turner got in there for the Tigers.
Looking on the sideline, both the running backs in front of him, Nolan Ray and DeJuan Williams, don't even have their helmets on. So expect Iverson Howard to be the feature back for the rest of this drive and maybe the game.
Might see Eli Mason as well. 3rd down and 6. Washington takes the snap, feels the pressure, throws down the field. It is incomplete. No flag. He was looking for Ock along that far side, and Terps will punt here close to midfield. No point in going for it at this point in the game, up big.
That ball was thrown into traffic a little bit. Ocksmith was telling him after that play to throw it more on the outside, but then they talked it over, and all good between the 2 of them, and it's 4th down, and Maryland will punt.
Here's Bryce McPherson. Haven't really seen him today as the Terps offense has been so efficient. But now the 2nd-year Terp. Spent a couple years at Notre Dame before. Will punt. Towson bringing pressure. McPherson, high kick. Sends the returner back. It goes over his head and bounces into the end zone for a touchback. There is a flag on the play. This is going to go against the Terps, as referee indicated some kind of false start or illegal shift here. Check the flag. So illegal formation is the call officially, and Towson will take over on offense here with 6:48 to go in this 3rd quarter. This game has slowed down pretty significantly here as the score kind of starts to settle in for both these teams. We'll step aside here on WMUC Sports, and we'll be back for the rest of this one live from CQ.
And make literacy a reality for all. Just more full-time sports journalists, business owners, experts, and specialists as well. Kelsey also volunteers wrestling on board of the Corning County Sports Hall of Fame, Capital Emmys, Period Realty, and Tickets for Kids Regional Advisory Council. She is also part of the host committee for the Fight for Children nonprofit. Kelsey's a proud UND grad and led through the National World Ladder, hosting 4 internship programs each semester, is recently co-founded the Power of Women in Sports networking series to create an intentional space for women
Big X the Plug was playing here at CQ Stadium as the Terps lead continues to grow towards the biggest, the largest. Towson will take over at the 30-yard line. Terps up 41-0 here. Terps come out with 4 on the defensive line, 2 in the middle. A number of the starters still out there. Drops back to pass, throwing down the field. He's got a man open, and that ball is hauled in Maryland territory. Nice work by Towson. See if we're bringing that one in. That's Charlton making the catch as Indorf dials up a good pass.
It's the best ball he's thrown all afternoon, right in stride down the sideline. And Towson moving the chains early. That's a great throw from the freshman.
Towson goes quickly. 2 receivers on each side and a running back in the backfield as well. It's Caddy Phillips. Indorf claps his hand, takes the snap, throws to the near side. That ball is caught. Dunmore making the catch. Big target. Dunmore 6'2", 185, hauls it in. And the Tigers in business here in the red zone already.
Back-to-back catches already inside the red zone for Towson. And those guys were open. So Maryland's defense got to tighten up here. Not allow any points to keep the shutout going.
Ball at the 19. Indorf claps his hands, takes the snap, looks left, now right, now into the end zone. He's got a man open, and that ball is hauled in for the touchdown. Lucas Londano makes the catch. That was quick. That was a Tigers team you hadn't really seen all game, but the Tigers finally get on the board. He beat Messiah Delhomme and makes the catch on the fade, and Towson is on the board here in the 3rd quarter.
And from a game that you kind of just want to throw out all the tape if you're Towson, here's a drive where you can take something out of it. Those were 3 nice throw and catches from Andrew Indorf. And Towson gets on the board with just under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
So Caden Williams will line up for the extra point here. We hadn't seen Towson be able to use its kicker at any point in this game until the start of the 2nd half. Now Williams gets a chance to add on one more here. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is right through. 41-7 here. Towson gets on the board. And he will step aside here for a break. When we come back, we'll have the rest of the 3rd quarter and this one here. Terps in the driver's seat against Towson on WMUC Sports. Well, the Tigers got on the board from a nice drive. It only took over just about 1 minute and 6 seconds, and they went in 75 yards, the length of the field, and scored. Still stands 41-7 here, as now the Tigers will kick away to the Terps. Looks like Christian Martin will come in here for Maryland, which means Malik's night or afternoon is pretty much over here. He would finish 16-22, 261 yards, 2 total touchdowns, and a pick. But in line for the win. 5:42 to go in this third quarter. Terps ahead 41-7 here. Williams puts the right hand up and gets ready to kick it away. McLaurin back deep. Has to come up for it. He'll make the catch at the 10-yard line. McLaurin bounces it to the outside, brought down at the 22. And we'll get our second look at Christian Martin. He played a little bit in the FAU game, but pretty sparingly and kind of in garbage time. Wouldn't necessarily call it garbage time yet in just the third quarter. The Terps up big, obviously. There's a reason why he's in the game. It's going to be some backups as well, as Ryan Manning in the game as well, as is Zymir Smith, the freshman. Caleb Webb still in for the Terps. Iverson Howard in as well.
And more on Christian Martin, 6'4", 230, redshirted a year ago, and now is finally getting some action here as a backup behind Washington.
Screen pass, that's caught. The freshman Zymir Smith makes the catch, but he's dragged down. It's his first career catch as a Maryland Terrapin, probably one that he would want to forget as it goes for a loss of 3, but his blocking didn't really give him much help on that one. Nice job by the Tigers. Rodney Roan in there making the play. Second down and 13 here, just over 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Martin now under center, Howard the back. One receiver on each side, a couple of tight ends in there as well. JT Taggart, the freshman, in the game. Second down, handoff. Here goes Iverson Howard navigating with blockers in front. He crosses the 20 and gets back to about the 22-yard line. It will set up 3rd and 11 here.
Iverson Howard, he was a 4-star recruit. He was a top 10 recruit in Maryland. He was the #1 running back for this previous class of 2025. So he's a stud, and he's looking to get some action here this season.
3rd down and 11 here. How aggressive does Pep Hamilton want to be here up big? Martin in the shotgun with Howard to his left and 2 receivers to his right. Martin takes the snap. It's a low one. Feels the pressure, throwing towards the first down. Hauled in by Caleb Webb. He had to come back for that ball, and he's pulled down by Miles Brody. It'll be interesting to see where they spot him here. They're going to mark him about 1 yard short, maybe even half a yard, but Terps just going to punt it.
On that route, he came back for it right around the marker, but the ball kind of forced him to come back a little more, and he'll be 1 yard or 2 short. That was a nice tackle there by Miles Brody.
So the Terps will punt it away. McPherson back there. Just 1 yard away from the sticks, but up big. The Terps don't want to take any risks. From the 32, that's where the Terps are lined up. McPherson's punt, it's a line drive. Flag is down. That ball is fair caught about the 17-yard line as Dunmore makes the catch. We'll check the flag. Looks like this shouldn't change much here. So that's another illegal formation penalty on the Terps. You look at the penalties in this game. Maryland has 6. Towson only has 1. And Mike Loxley talked to us about how he wanted to clean up those penalties. There was a lot, especially in the FAU game. They started to get that number down against NIU, but obviously not up to the standard that Mike Loxley talks about. So it just, a 5-yard penalty, moves it up a little bit for the Tigers. So Indorf and company will just look to keep chipping away here. They'll be set up at the 24-yard line, 1st and 10 with 3.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Indorf claps his hands, takes the snap, looks left, throws over the middle. That ball was deflected, but still caught, and picking up a 1st down is the receiver for Towson, Sam Reynolds.
Tigers are going to stick with that tempo offense. It worked well. 3-play 75-yard drive last time outing. And here they're going again. Ball's at the 36.
Goes for an 11-yard pickup. 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Wooten is the back. 2 receivers each side. Indorf takes the snap, looking short left, wide open again, making the catch and getting close to the sticks is a receiver for Towson. He lost his helmet. That was Perkins making the catch.
Perkins will have to exit the field and miss at least one play for his helmet coming off. New receivers coming in for the Tigers.
2nd and 1 here from their own 45. Tigers offense has been much better in this third quarter. They're looking to add onto the touchdown they scored last drive. Terps bring some pressure. It's picked up, throwing deep down the field. That ball is incomplete. Check for a flag. No laundry on the field. Good coverage from the Terps and Braden Lee. They'll set up 3rd down and 1. Still from the 45.
There's a lot of contact on that play, and Braden Lee didn't really turn around really to make a play on the ball, but that ball was sailing out of bounds anyway. It looked like to be uncatchable. It's going to be 3rd down.
Third quarter winding down here. The Terps offense has not done very much. Their only source of points in this quarter was a pick 6 from Lakai Rowland. Now at the length of the field. Indorf barking out commandments to his tight ends. 3rd down and 1. They hand it off. Up the middle goes Wooten. He is marked short. Pretty sure that Towson's going to go for this here. But you mentioned it earlier, Benji. The Terps really, they haven't had a lot of TFLs. It's just been meeting the running backs at the line. They're going to have to do it again here. Quick snap. Indorf fakes it, throws down the field. Nice play. He's got the 1st down to his receiver. That's Schaefer making the catch, picking up a 1st down. Nice play call there. Little option play. Schaefer found himself open in the flat, and he picks up the sticks.
Maryland's defense was thinking run, run, run. Nice play fake from Indorf and finds a wide open screen pass. Just gets enough for the 1st down.
Terps just trying to substitute here, but a bit of miscommunication. Ball now at the Terps 46. Towson continues to move, now under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Good protection for Indorf. It starts to run out. Mathis is chasing him. Indorf is sandwiched. It's still a loss of maybe 2 as Sidney Stewart got in there, but there are a couple injured Terps on the field. That's Zahir Mathis down, who will be helped off. He looks to be walking pretty well. That was a tough play, and we saw this in week 1 against FAU. A couple of injuries happened really late in the game that were, you can't really chalk it up to more than just unfortunate circumstances. Yeah, it might be could be a wrist injury as where Mathis walks off. Justin Martin got hurt and Jalen Gilchrist got hurt. They both suffered significant injuries in that 4th quarter. But now it's 2nd and 10 here. Indorf takes the snap, feels the pressure, throws down the field. He's got a receiver open, but it's intercepted. Delhomme swooped over and picked it off, but he's out of bounds. It will be 3rd down and 10. Clock stopped with 72 seconds left.
That was great pressure from the freshman Carlton Smith. As soon as he was coming in for the sack, Indorf was also looking that way to throw, so he just flashes his hands up, stressing out the quarterback, forcing him to look the other way, and that ball was nearly intercepted by Delhomme, who already has a fumble recovery and almost got his hands on the ball again.
3rd and 10 from the 46. The Terps bring more pressure. 3 receivers to the right side for Towson. Indorf gets halfway into the snap count now, asks for help on the sidelines. 5 seconds on the play clock. Towson's got to go. 3rd down. They hand it off. Battles. Works through the middle. Keeps the legs churning, but he's thrown down. A short gain here as Delhomme brings him down. Immediately comes off the field. I was thinking that was Keyshawn Flowers. 23, not 33. Going to be 4th down and 7 here. And Towson will send out the punting team here. So clock continues to run. Bryce LaFollette to punt it away again. This will be his 6th punt of the afternoon. LaFollette, the Chesapeake Beach native, will send it away. Looking to pin the Terps in. Flag is down. McLaurin wants no part of it. It's a good punt, and it is downed at the 1. Good job there by the Towson special teams. Nice work there. We'll check the flag. Referees are going over to Mike Loxley. This indicates that it's on the Tigers.
Seen those penalties be added to the end of the play, but because that ball was down perfectly at the 1, Maryland has chosen to accept the penalty to redo the kick.
It's an interesting call for Loxley. I agree with it, though. It's now, instead of having the ball at like the 6-yard line, you're just forcing Towson to redo the kick here. So maybe giving McLaurin a chance to buy his team some breathing room. Just 23 seconds left on the clock here in the 3rd. Towson will kick it now at the Maryland 48. At least that's where the ball will be snapped. So 4th down and 12 now. Maryland will load the line here. Snap is off. LaFollette's kick is high, but it's short. McLaurin runs up for it, makes the catch. A fair catch at about the 19. So the gamble from Loxley worked. Maryland has much better field position with 16 seconds to go. And so Christian Martin will get another go around here with the offense.
Christian Martin, he was a 2-sport athlete in high school, played basketball as well as football. He was a number 33 prospect in Virginia in class 2 years ago. And chose Maryland over the likes of UMass, Temple, Old Dominion. Here he's backing up freshman Malik Washington.
Yeah, a guy who just didn't play last year due to a red shirt, and now he had that opportunity to compete for the starting job. It ended up being Washington, but here's Christian now. Rolling out on the play action. Stepping up to run, he slides down, or kind of quasi-dives past the 20. It's a short gain, and that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So Towson gets on the board via touchdown, but Maryland still has that 34-point lead thanks to an 100-yard pick 6 from Lakai Rowland. A really good 3rd quarter for Maryland. Their defense continues to stiffen up against the Tigers. And that is where we stand, 3/4 of the way done with this one. Benji Kaufman will take over for the final 15 minutes. All Maryland here from CQ, 41-7, the Terps ahead of the Tigers on WMUC Sports.
This opportunity, right now, nothing else matters. Do you believe in your effort, your preparation? Then own this moment. Do you believe in each other? In everyone else? Then finish
back in College Park, where it has been all Maryland. The Terps are up 41-7 with 1 quarter to go. And Malik Washington's day has been done, and it's Christian Martin taking over quarterback duties for the Terps. We switch sides. Maryland will retain the ball. 2nd and 9, their own 21. Still waiting for the refs to give them the go-ahead. Christian Martin, 2 for 2 for 6 yards so far. And a rush for a yard in the shotgun. Hands it off. This is Iverson Howard again, zigzagging his way for a few yards. We got 4 or 5 yards. And that'll bring up 3rd and 3. Iverson Howard, that was his 6th carry. Just 16 yards, just 23 yards, but he's looked pretty solid so far as the 3rd string today. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right on 3rd and short. Martin claps and takes it, fakes it to Iverson, going through the middle, and it's incomplete. A lot of contact there. There are no flags, and it's 4th and 3. Christian Martin staying on the field for the moment. No, the punt team will come on and boot this one away.
Yeah, I thought that one really could have been called for pass interference there, as he was looking for Josiah McLaurin, but good coverage there by Mike Swain. And now the Terps will punt again.
Yeah, the contact, he might have been just a tad bit early on that inside cross, but no flag was called. And McPherson will catch the snap and boot it away. This is a liner, forcing Dunmore to back up, and he fields this at the 21. And he's tackled, wrestled out of bounds at the 22-23 yard line by Ricardo Cooper Jr. So Towson will retain possession. It's a nice punt from McPherson. Looks like Indorf will stay on for Towson at quarterback. And if you're Maryland, you're looking to just have another clean performance on defense, escape with not too many injuries before going to Madison next weekend.
Yeah, and this is really the final, I would say, tune-up game for Maryland before they enter conference play. And, you know, Towson, NIU, FAU, it's not the most deadly competition they're going to face, but the fact that they're playing well in these games indicates they're doing what they're supposed to.
New quarterback in for Towson. Nathan Kent hands it off to the running back. That looks like Phillips. Takes it up for 3 yards, and it's 2nd and 7. Nathan Kent, the grad student, has not appeared in a game yet this season. Appeared in 3 a year ago. Now he's getting 4th quarter action with his team down 41-7.
An interesting sight here for the Terps. Neo Avery is in the game, a guy who was expected to take a big role. He got injured last season, was still rehabbing from it for a while, but now he's in at edge rusher, the sophomore from Good Counsel.
It's his first time he's appeared all year. Kent hands it off to the running back again, and he is met up, but he lunges forward for 2-3 yards. Tackle from Bryce Jenkins. For Maryland, the freshman, getting some action this afternoon. 3rd and 5 coming up from the 26. Clock ticking, over 13 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Kent in the gun with 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Phillips lined up on his left. Kent clapping a lot, takes the snap. Kent drops back down the middle of the field. This ball might have been tipped. That ball's incomplete. Underthrown, intended for Zay Perkins. And it's 4th and 5. It looks like Towson's punting unit will come right back on. Offenses have slowed down in this second half after a 34-0 first half for Maryland.
Yeah, Kent's a guy who actually has a good amount of experience. He was the starter in 2023, the graduate student from Eldersburg, Maryland. You know, talking to our old friend Nate Schwartz about Nathan Kent, who got to face him in high school, and he did not have very fond memories. Kent was really deadly playing for Liberty High School out there in Mount Airy. And now he's getting some action here at the end of this 4th quarter.
Gonna foul it. The punter boots, it's just punted. This is blocked by Messiah Delhomme. What a day he is having. Fingerprints all over the field. There were 3 Terps that came in clean to block that punt. And it's Delhomme making the impact. He had the fumble recovery earlier, a near interception, and now a blocked punt on Bryce Follett.
Yeah, this was just a real disaster in coverage from Towson in the backfield. They all kind of shifted left, and Delhomme came unblocked, and there's just nothing you can do about that if you're LaFollette. So now the Terps are back in business here, just 15 yards away from the end zone.
Maryland would love to see itself score at least one more time before this one wraps up. Christian Martin at the helm. And a lot of reserves in for the Terps. Josiah McLaurin, usual punt returner, coming off for this play. It's Iverson Howard at running back who's in. Third string tight end JT Taggart in as well. 12:52 to go in the fourth. Martin under center. Hands it off to Iverson on the counter. He's met by a bunch of Tigers, and he picks up 2 or 3 yards. McLaurin will come back in as Szymanski, another tight end, checks back out. Maryland has been losing that tempo a little bit this afternoon, but they go in the huddle on this drive. Martin in an empty set. 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Martin takes it, looks right, dumps it off to Howard alone. Nearly makes a man miss, and he pirouettes to the 10 for 3rd and 5. Xavier Terry with the tackle. He's led his team in tackles each of the last 2 years for the Tigers.
Yeah, it's not a lot of looks from Howard just yet, but he definitely has this ability to just kind of bounce off of contact and has great balance in the open field. And I think that's definitely a quality that Mike Loxley appreciates from his running back.
Howard had over 20 Power 4 offers, but the Gaithersburg kid decided to stay home and rep his home state. 3rd and 5 from the 10. Martin looking right, looking end zone. This ball is nearly caught off the deflection. Intended for Jordan Scott, the 6'7" frame. And that'll bring up 4th and 5. The big fella couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, Jordan Scott, a really interesting story. He played at Florida State in the spring, but he didn't. The last team he actually played football for in game was Appomattox County, a JUCO school in Virginia. He's one of the top JUCO players in the portal. He ends up at Maryland. He's pretty far down that depth chart, but he's a big target, and Martin tried to hit him on that back shoulder fade. Doesn't work out.
He's a freshman behind 2 seniors, so we'll see if he gets more opportunities in the future. This is Sean O'Hare delivering the kick, and it is good. Makes it 44-7 as Maryland capitalizes on the block punt and extends that lead to 37. We will take a break here from College Park. Maryland extending its lead, 11.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. You're listening to Maryland football on WMUC Sports. 44-7. Maryland leads with about 11.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter as they come away with 3 points following the blocked punt from Messiah Delhomme. It's Sean O'Hare who gives the Terps another 3 points. We've seen now both teams going to their backup quarterbacks. Maryland having Christian Martin take some snaps, and Towson having Nathan Kent, who did start for the team 2 years ago. His career, he's got 14 touchdowns through the air and 4 on the ground. Now appearing in his first game of 2025 for the Tigers. Always getting ready to kick this one back. The fans certainly have thinned out of CQ Stadium. Noise boots it. This is a short kick. This will be fielded by Reynolds. Sam Reynolds trying to go up the middle. He is met up by many Terps. DJ Samuels, that hybrid fullback and linebacker, making the tackle. Maryland, a lot of subs in for this game, but it's the storyline right now is Neo Avery getting in some action for the Terps, who's been nursing that knee injury.
Yeah, Avery, a guy who's been with this team for a little while, and another guy who from the Glen Burnie area, where Malik is from as well. And just a really good story on this defensive line.
It's Nathan Kent in the gun. He'll keep it. Nathan Kent going down the middle. He's got a man, and this one is caught. Jayceon Doss making a man miss, turning to the left. Jayceon Doss inside the 10. Touchdown, Tigers. 84 yards for the Tigers. Alex Moore could not catch up with Doss. And the Tigers with some late game fireworks here to chip into that lead. Nice throw from Kent.
Yeah, we hadn't really heard of Doss, the redshirt junior from Compton, a guy who brings a pretty good amount of experience to Towson, working against a guy in Alex Moore who doesn't have as much experience comparably. And it's a big play for Towson, and they get a touchdown here in this fourth quarter.
He's always been that deep threat, averaged 15 yards a catch last year, and had a 33-yard score 2 weeks ago. And this one goes for 84 yards. Caden Williams' kick is good, and it's now 44-14. It's a nice throw from Nathan Kent. It's his first completion of the afternoon. It's 1 for 2, and now with that score. That only took about 12 seconds for Towson to get more on the board.
Yeah, and when Towson has been on today, their offense has looked fine, but it's just been so few and far between. And of course, in this situation now where that score is great, but it cuts the lead to a whopping 30 points now. I mean, you know, there's still time in this fourth quarter, but so far I think the Terps really set themselves up really well in that first half by just playing shutout defense. And, you know, now they can afford to concede some points, sure, but you know, for Towson, it's encouraging offensively, but they still just are down by multiple scores.
Will certainly hurt the averages for Maryland's defense coming into today, only allowing 16 points. Today, the Tigers have put up 14. Maryland will certainly be Towson's most difficult opponent this season. So certainly positives to take away from today's outing. Williams, the lefty, boots this one away. Josiah McLaurin to return. Fields it from the 5. Blockers are setting up the middle. Josiah McLaurin spins his way to the 23. As Christian Martin will make his way back out for the Terps. Just over 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
And I'd like to see this second team for the Terps get a touchdown here. I mean, their offense has been pretty quiet in this second half, only just 3 points on offense. So, you know, this is the time where, especially for these young players, guys like Zymir Smith, Jordan Scott, who maybe haven't felt like they haven't gotten their chance yet, well, this is their chance, really, to gain the attention of the coaching staff here if they're able to make some plays.
Certainly seen Iverson Howard gain some attention, and it's now Martin who dumps it off to Zymir Smith, makes a man miss, but is met by another for a no gain. He might even lost a few yards there. He'll lose 3 yards as this clock is rolling. 2nd and 13. Maryland will set up again at the 20. Martin with 2 receivers. 2 to his left, 1 to his right. Excuse me, 3 receivers to his left. Martin lobbing snap to Iverson Howard with room to run. Iverson Howard bullying his way back to that original line of scrimmage. It'll be a 5-yard gain. It's Cody Williams for Towson with the tackle. Brings up 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 7 for Maryland. We haven't seen the second unit stay on the field for very long. Even on that block punt, they were forced to kick a field goal. But this coaching staff would love to see these second stringers connect on a nice drive. Martin takes the snap. Martin looking left, sees the right, and he is met by 2 Tigers on the sack. Caden White was right there and just suffocated Christian Martin, and they will force Maryland to punt once again, a loss of 7.
Yeah, it's a nice job on the Towson defense. They just overload the seam on that right side of the offensive line, gets a big hole to run through, and now Maryland has to punt again here. You know, and this game, there's still time for Towson to come back, but there's, you know, a certain expectation standard of offense. Mike Loxley always talks about the standard, right? And you know, he's not just talking about the apartment complex in College Park. He's talking about a real set of goals that the Terps try to live by, as they're going to take a timeout here before they punt. And you know, the second team offense going up against the second team defense for Towson, you would expect them to play as well as the first team offense did against the second team, or against the first team offense for Towson earlier in this game. And I think that this is definitely something to work on for the Terps, is finishing games strong. It's something they did versus FAU. It's something that they did maybe to a lesser extent, but nonetheless were accomplished against NIU, and now I think are not, I think, finishing as well as they would like to here against Towson.
And Maryland was forced to burn a timeout there as DJ Samuels was late to come on. The team only had 10 guys on the field. But now Bryce McPherson standing at the 5-yard line. Will punt this one away. Sneaks across midfield. And the return man for Towson fields it at the 39. That was John Dunmore. 9-minute mark here to go in the fourth quarter. These teams will regroup. Both teams will catch their breath as we will be right back from College Park here on WMUC Sports.
If you see your name up there, head on down to the bottom of section 16. At the end of the game, section 16, right down here, the cheerleaders in the stadium. You gotta be here to win. Those are the names. Congratulations. Come on down after the game to get those awesome prizes. Did you today? Test them like next time. The fourth quarter of our home game against Washington, October 4th. And now, it's time to get on your feet, make some noise. We got too many t-shirts. We gotta get rid of these. Stand up and come your way. It's brought to you by Pro Fish.
9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter between Maryland and Towson. Terps up 44-14. But this quarter has been all Tigers. The last time Towson was on offense, Nathan Kent delivered an 84-yard touchdown to Jason Doss. The Tigers will field it at the 39, 1st and 10. 2 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. Kent, play action, looking for another deep ball. This one's down the sideline. There's a lot of contact there from Braden Lee. 2 flags thrown, and probably be pass interference. Dunmore was the intended receiver. And just another penalty from the Terps. This will be their 7th penalty of the afternoon, compared to Towson's just 2 penalties. Towson will move inside Maryland territory. Towson will take it at the 46-yard line. Maryland showing 1 safety high look. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Kent takes it. This will be a quarterback rush, and he'll take it up the middle. He is chopped up for a gain of 3 yards by Daniel Owens. 2nd and medium.
Yeah, Daniel Owens, the Calvert Hall product, making a nice play there. It's the backup D-line, but the same principle applies as the offense. These are guys that I think on the D-line especially a little bit more experienced, so they're fighting for playing time. Guys like Owens and Avery, you know, these are people who have been at the team 2-3 years. And so a good showing here could mean more snaps with the first team.
Kent in the shotgun once again with 2 receivers to the right and left. Kent surveying, looking, rolling to run on his own, and he does. Nathan Kent picks up the 1st down and more. Gets a few more yards after contact. And that is Jaden Ships with the tackle. Couldn't bring him down initially, but Kent muscles his way inside the 30 for another 1st down. Towson using that tempo once again. It worked in the 3rd quarter on that 3-play 75-yard drive. Now 3 receivers to the left. Kent takes the snap. Looking right to the end zone. Ships in coverage. Another flag thrown. And it looks like this will be on Jaden Ships again. Cleveland Charlton was the intended receiver, the 6'5" product. This will be Braden Lee for Maryland's 8th penalty, 2nd of this drive.
Man, that was a quick trigger from the line judge over there. That first one on Lee, that was a flag. This one was not. That was a catchable pass. Lee was in good coverage. He turned his head around. There really was not that much contact as the ball was being thrown. I just don't agree with that call.
Ball is set at the 14-yard line. Nathan Kent is moving these Tigers down the field. He keeps it off the handoff fake, dumps it off to his tight end, who is met up quickly. Peyton Faulkner was the tight end who made the grab. There's a nice tackle, and it's 2nd and 9.
It's Delhomme on the stop. He's a freshman who plays the game with a lot of energy, and he makes a big tackle there. Not letting Faulkner get too far. Delhomme, the Newport News native, making a nice play.
Kent takes it, finally hands it off to Phillips. Gets about 3 yards. It'll set up 3rd down from the 11. Phillips, that was just his 6th carry of the afternoon. Just about 15 yards on the day for the redshirt freshman. It's 3rd and 7 into the direction of the empty student section. Kent with 3 receivers, trips to his right. Kent takes it, looking right, looking end zone. This ball is nearly caught one-handed. Some contact there, but no flag. Gavin Edwards, this redshirt sophomore DB in coverage, forcing a 4th down and forcing a kicking situation for the Tigers.
Yeah, Gavin Edwards, another interesting story on this team. A guy who transferred in from Austin Pay, who it was one of those guys who you're a little surprised to see. Him and Delhomme are guys that frequently rotate in with the first team. And Edwards, you can put him in corner, you can put him at safety, provides some flexibility for Mike Loxley's defense, and provides pretty good coverage there, forcing Towson to settle for a kick.
The lefty, Caden Williams, will attempt this one, and it is through, which will make it 44-17. Towson coming away with more points on this drive in the fourth quarter with 6:13 to go on the clock. We will come back after this break. You are listening to Maryland football on WMUC Sports.
I'm going to answer some of your most pressing questions.
I'm bringing it from the West Coast, the Squabble. I'll bring that from the West Coast. My go-to celebration is just flexing, screaming, and getting hyped in my wheels. My go-to move will always be seat up, press one and box. I started playing football when I was 4 years old. Everyone saw me at 4 years old. I started playing football at 9 years old. I started playing football when I was 7 years old. Yeah, flag football. As a kid, growing up, it's always been the Hulk. I'm not sure why. Because he's super strong and all the villains are usually afraid of him.
Iron Man, because, he just handled business, but then he also kept his fun and childish ways and stuff.
Maryland looking to end the afternoon on a high note following Towson's 6-play, 50-yard drive that took just under 3 minutes and ended in a field goal. 44-17, Maryland leads. As Phillips, the lefty, is waiting to boot this one away. As Maryland's second unit make its way onto the field soon. Halftime, Maryland led 34-0. Towson has outscored the Terps 17-10. It's Iverson Howard back deep to return. Phillips boots this away. This goes over the head of Howard for a touchback. Christian Martin will make his way back onto the field for Maryland. 4 for 6. For 5 yards is Christian Martin's day so far. And his sack yards have not helped his stats. But Maryland will regroup, looking to just execute a long drive to take up the rest of this game and go into next week on a positive note.
Yeah, I think the name of the game for this drive is just to get positive yardage, keep the line moving. You really just don't want to keep giving the ball back to Towson. It doesn't really matter how many points they score, just try to run out this clock.
Martin under center, hands it off to Iverson, who is led blocking by Samuels, and he is upended and flipped for a gain of 5 yards. That was Brian Lodge, the DB for Towson, making that aggressive tackle.
Just glad that he landed on his backside there and not anywhere close to his head or neck. I think at a certain point, if you're running back and you get flipped like that, you got to just know how to kind of tumble over.
And he's back on the field, but there is a whistle before this play was ran, and it's a timeout called by Towson, using its second. It was almost a 12 men on the field call for Towson, but they called the timeout to avoid it. Would have been just their third penalty on the afternoon.
Yeah, and Pete Shinnick, the coach for the Tigers, is a guy who's been around the block a couple of times, and you know, he's a native of this area. His father was an NFL player for the Colts when they were still in Baltimore, and so coincidentally now he coaches a Towson team that plays on Johnny United's field. Unitas, a guy who donated a lot of money and supported the university, although not being from the area himself, and Shinnick called it a full circle moment. You know, he's a coach that's going to expect a lot out of his players, and he's going to continue to coach hard up until the final whistle.
He's been known to be a coach that builds small programs, and here his biggest test at Towson. Martin takes the snap and he hands it off to Iverson Howard, who lunges forward across the 35. Gain of 5 yards, and it will move the sticks for another first down. More on Pete Shinnick for Towson. Last year, Tigers had their first winning season since 2019. He's got 2 National Coach of the Year awards in his tenure across the country for 4 different programs. Martin under center with Samuels at fullback and Iverson Howard at running back. Receiver to his left, approaching the 5-minute mark in this fourth quarter. Martin hands it off to Iverson, who is met by a number of Tigers up to the 38. Caden White for Towson was there, leading the charge to stop Iverson Howard.
And it's important to know that this game may not be close, but you know, Towson in the world of the CAA and the FCS is in a lot higher of a regard than they are when they go up against FBS teams like Maryland. You know, it can be hard to remember in these non-conference games that there are different divisions of college football and different kind of sects of talent within those divisions.
Maryland in a bunch formation with Martin back in the shotgun. Hands it off to Iverson. He'll pick up another 3 yards. Maryland looking to just chop that time away. And it's Shamar Graham for Towson with the tackle. Now just under 4 minutes to go, and it'll be 3rd and 4 from the 42. And Maryland in the huddle taking its time. Zymeer Smith on the right side. Jordan Scott and Josiah McLaurin on the left. Balls at the 42. Martin looking left, goes for Scott, and he's got it. Makes a man miss across midfield for another Maryland first down.
It's a good play. It's an important throw, about as important of a throw considering the situation of this game, because if that ball is incomplete or they have to punt the ball away, then the clock is going to stop, and you know that the Terps can't really control the time as much as they would otherwise. But nice job there from Martin, finding his rhythm there, finding a big target in Scott, and keeping the clock moving here.
9 different Terrapin receivers have made a grab today. Martin leading the charge here just across midfield. 1st and 10. High snap, hands it off to Howard once again. He is met at the 45 for a 3-yard gain. Clock still ticking away. So Maryland will take its time. That was Ben Kumpen with the tackle for Towson.
Now puts Howard as the top carrier in this game, as Locks might have called the timeout here, but as an injured player for the Tigers, that's what it is. But I like what I've seen from the Terps running back room today. I think Nolan Ray had the touchdown. It hasn't been his best day, but I think that this has been a position group that the Terps have had talent in for some time. You go back to a couple of years ago with Roman Hemby, Kobe McDonald, even before that, guys like Ty Johnson. I mean, this is a program that in the last 10 or 15 years, you kind of know which position groups are going to be more stacked than the others. And I think that the Terps know that they have 2 or 3 really good running backs, and so far they've done a really nice job of using all of them, and they've all played pretty decently so far.
The numbers won't jump out at you from today, but Maryland's running game certainly took a step forward today as it approaches conference play in the weeks ahead.
And that's something that is going to ultimately really matter in the next couple of weeks because, you know, next week versus Wisconsin, Wisconsin is not in the upper echelon of the Big Ten, but they're definitely going to play the Terps a heck of a lot closer than Towson will. So getting Malik that help in the running game, if the Terps can do it, is ultimately going to make their team so much better if they're able to establish the run.
Maryland's also been able to stop the run. Wisconsin does have that 1-2 punch at running back with Darion Dupree and Dylan Jones. We'll see if Maryland's 1-2 punch in DeJuan Williams and Nolan Ray can take another step forward next week on the road. Both teams regrouping here, the 2-minute timeout. Ball will be at the 44 when both teams return. Maryland looking to eke out of here healthy. It was a nice breakdown, nice balance of receiving from Maryland's guys. Jaleel Farouk, 5 for 53. Octavian Smith Jr. was the 100-yard receiver. He had 4 catches for 103 yards, but it was Shalik Knotts being that deep threat guy once again. Another 4 catches, another 79 yards, and of course, that 30-plus yard touchdown.
And I think for especially guys like Farouk and Ak, the yards after catch has been big too. Farouk, I mean, 49 of his 53 yards were after the catch. Smith, 31 of his 103. So it's a good sign. And when you have a freshman quarterback, what matters is support. How can you make his life easier as just an 18-year-old kid in a perilous position? And I think stuff like that, make your receivers making plays in space, establishing the run, could go a long way towards the Terps team being successful later on.
Another new quarterback in for Maryland. This is Roman Jensen, the redshirt freshman. 6'1", 210 frame. We'll check in for the first time. Under center. Towson in a too-high look, and Maryland bunched up together. Jensen hands it off to Howard again. Howard making men miss, and he squeezes forward towards the marker. We'll see where they spot him. Waiting for the signal. Might have been just short. And they'll move the chains. That is a first down for Iverson Howard. We'll see if that's what the Terps will do moving forward to eat this clock. Just under 2 minutes to go. Clock is stopped right before Maryland sets up its formation. Refs will convene right at the line of scrimmage. They're moving this ball back a little bit. After initial review, refs change the call, and it'll bring up 3rd and 1. Minute 35 to go. Jensen in the shotgun with Howard on his right. Refs making sure players are aware of the call. Not letting the center snap just yet. Ref explaining to Loxley on the sideline the nature of the call.
This is a long break for a pretty quick review that happened without any announcement. And at this point, you're just, I think if you're both teams, you just want to just snap the ball and go.
They put 9 more seconds on the clock. bring that ticker to 144. And the clock will now run. With 20 seconds on the play clock, Maryland will take its time. Jensen in the gun. Ball's at the 39-yard line. 3rd and 1. Jensen, high snap, keeps it. He looks like he is short. Did not look like he gained any yards on that one. Faked it to Howard, ran to the right. And they'll say he lost the yard. It's 4th and 2. As this clock will tick down. 25 on the play clock. Now a minute to go. And the offense will stay on the field to put this game officially away. Just one receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Jensen under center with Samuels at fullback and Howard at halfback. Counter. Iverson Howard lunges forward. We'll say where they will spot him, but it looks like he got it. We'll say he did. 1st down, Maryland.
Oh, that'll run the clock, and that should be enough here for the Terps.
Loxley's headset is off. Towson's still running substitutions. There's about a 4-second difference between the play clock and the game clock, but this will look to run out. And both teams getting ready to shake hands as this clock has officially wound down, and Maryland takes its last non-conference game of the year, 44-17. Malik Washington shined, 16 for 22, 261 yards and a touchdown, as well as 29 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Did have that interception, but nonetheless a productive day for the freshman.
It was another really good showing, Benji, for Malik, and I think he continues to impress. Mike Loxley talks every single time you mention Malik about his maturity and poise, and I think that's something that even in these non-conference games he's done really well. He's overcame adversity at a high level, and he's done a good job of maintaining a consistent performance as well. And this is a good win for the Terps, 44-17, a 27-point victory as they head into conference play. I mean, the schedule's only going to get more difficult from here. Wisconsin starts out, I think they got to go on the road in a tough environment. Me and Ryan Martin will be there next week for you. But it's going to be, now is kind of where the real challenge sets in for the Terps. 3-0, that was a given. They've won 18 non-conference games now. That's the most in the country by a wide margin. And this is how they've been doing it here for years. But now the test is, can they win in conference play?
Of course, they went 3-0 in non-conference play a year ago and then finished the year 4-8. Maryland fans surely hoping their history does not repeat itself. But Maryland going on the road at Wisconsin next week. Final score, 44-17. Maryland takes it, moves on to 3-0. That was Daniel Stein alongside Benji Kaufman and our spotter Owen Korzak. So long from College Park. That was Maryland football on WMUC Sports Radio.